The G20 finance ministers meet in Asheville at a moment when geopolitics is reshaping the global economy. War, sanctions, tariffs and supply chain disruptions are challenging the assumptions of open and frictionless trade, while high debt and inflation constrain governments' room to respond. Now, the agenda, therefore, goes beyond finance, from energy security and resilient supply chains to digital payments and financial stability. For India, the meeting is an opportunity to push for a more connected, diversified and resilient global economic architecture. Watch this report.
The G20 brings together 19 countries, the EU and the AU, representing around 85% of the global GDP and two-thirds of the world population this week. The focus shifts to Asheville, United States, where finance ministers will meet on August 31 and September 1. But the backdrop is war, with conflicts disrupting energy, shipping and supply chains.
I think they will be probably the US has balkanized the international trading system through its imposition, lifting and then reimposition of tariffs and non-tariff barriers to trade, and indeed also restrictions on capital mobility, especially foreign direct investment. These things have become extremely sensitive issues with the global supply shocks on the energy side.
The world is feeling the squeeze as US sanctions hit Iran energy supplies while inflation adds to economic pain. And with Hormuz under pressure, any prolonged disruption could mean costlier oil, shipping and another inflation shock for the world. That makes energy security central to the G20 agenda, alongside growth, debt, financial regulation, digital assets and cross-border payments.
Asheville is a small, very beautiful city in North Carolina, not far from where I live, and it's close to the Appalachian Mountains. It's a tourist center. It's not a political or economic center of gravity. But remember, it's only the Minister of Finance and the heads of the central bank that meet in Asheville for the G20 at the end of this month. The heads of state and heads of government meet in Miami, still not New York, but in Miami at the end of the year in December.
But Washington's tariff strategy complicates that agenda, turning trade into a tool of economic and geopolitical pressure. At the same time, US federal debt has crossed $40 trillion, raising questions over America's fiscal strength and global economic leadership.
During the currency of the trade deal, 3-0 Act provisions not being invoked, because otherwise the trade deal does not mean much. Debt restructuring, yes. Debt restructuring with us is only in the household sector, not at a national macro center level as it is with the US itself, because US last week only crossed the $40 trillion debt mark, which is the highest debt any country in the world has ever had. So yes, while we would like to see those things happen, digital acceptance and all those things in which we have a forte, but let's just remember that it is the meeting hosted by the United States, agenda drawn up by them, and probably what they are expected from them is more like a presence of other countries rather than the so-called the G7 countries who are also members of the G20.
Meanwhile, Scott Bessent says upcoming meet could offer solutions to the mounting debt.
The 40 trillion is a big number. It is smaller when we look at the publicly traded amount because our Social Security funds and other government entities hold a substantial amount. And what we're going to do, we're going to have to grow our way out of this. And as I talked about at G20 in Asheville, we are going to talk about the U.S. growth strategy and encourage the rest of the world to come along with us. We are also, I announced that Director Russ Vogt and I have been tasked with looking at fiscal consolidation. I think the numbers are not the actual numbers now. We've had to do substantial tariff refunds due to the court ruling, but with the Section 301 tariffs, I am confident that we will be back to the same level, if not higher, of tariff income for last year.
War adds to the strain, with higher defense spending, energy costs and interest rates making inflation and debt harder to manage. Trade weaponization by US, another issue that world will look to solve at this G20 meet.
President Trump has come in and he's a unilateralist. He, in fact, is a personality-led person. So he would like to decide everything himself. He's not an institutional person. So this year, the tension is between President Trump's trade policies, which are unilateral, which are punitive, which has weaponized trade and disrupted the global system. And the financial system is still, not subject to President Trump's quest for unilateralism. So the tension, I think, is within the US system of how to harmonize and reconcile the traditional US approach of being a leader of a broad Western alliance or coalition on substantive matters of global governance. And on the financial side, he is still comfortable with the way things are. But on the trade side, he has disrupted it completely. I mean, the WTO has more or less ceased to exist. But in the real economy, it's very difficult to have one approach on trade and another approach on finance. So it's an internal contradiction within US policy, and we have to see how it plays out this year.
The result is a shift from globalization to economic security as countries prioritize resilient supply chains over simply chasing the lowest cost. Oil, chips, minerals and shipping routes are now strategic assets, and the geopolitical shock can quickly become a global economic shock.
The supply chain issue, yes, because it affects the import-exports. It impacts countries in the Far East, those which are dependent like India, South Asia, Japan, China, Korea, because they are dependent upon imported oil. So the supply chain for that is an important issue. At the same time, there is a critical minerals supply chain which emanates in the US, emanates in China. The world would like to settlement take place there as well. But I think the tariff issue would be only touched briefly and not upfront. People will not confront the US unless it is China which takes it on and says that the tariffs should be brought down by everybody rather than increased. So that's the message to the US. The other countries do not have the kind of leverage which China has in the business of trade and now as a global economy.
India has an edge, where UPI giving it a strong voice on faster, cheaper and more connected digital payments. Moreover, India's response with respect to Section 301 of US trade law indicates India's strong stand at G20 meet. The G20 will also debate digital assets, crypto, balancing financial innovation against risk to stability and security. So beyond finance, Asheville is about future of globalization. Can the G20 keep economies connected as war, tariffs, sanctions and debt pull them apart?
Good international manners not to invite one of the member countries of the G20, South Africa, the US last year boycotted the G20 meeting itself. It was not present because South Africa had the presidency. I think these things emphasized. I think some discussion about the management of supply lines for energy following the upheaval created by the Iran war is also likely to be on the menu. Traditional G20 issues like sustainability, global warming, promoting international aid are not going to be on the menu. This is a America First G20 conference in terms of the themes that will actually be actively addressed.
At last, G20 offers to the world to challenge US economic coercion.
All right, viewers, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, after Jaipur, now CJP faces backlash in Jodhpur. Locals raise slogans against the CJP members.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
प्योर मसाला।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta. Now let's move on to another top story that we are tracking. A massive fire broke out at a warehouse in Russia's St. Petersburg on Sunday, with flames engulfing an area of around 82,000 square meters. Now, the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters and stored paper and polymer materials. Now, firefighters battled the blaze as authorities warned of the risk of further spread. Here is a full report.
A massive warehouse fire erupted in St. Petersburg on Sunday, sending thick flames through the industrial facility as firefighters rushed to contain the blaze. Russia's emergency minister said the affected areas stretched across 82,000 square meters, while the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters. The facility was being used to store paper and polymer materials, creating a particularly difficult challenge for firefighters battling the intense flames. Emergency officials warned that the heat, flying sparks and burning fragments from the materials could allow the fire to spread further. Fire crews continued operations around the warehouse as officers coordinated the firefighting response and worked to prevent the blaze from extending to nearby areas.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah to attend 9th National Security Strategies Conference in New Delhi, two-day event to deliberate on challenges to national security. Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan backs One Nation, One Election, says frequent elections are an obstacle to development, precious time and money goes to waste. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval scheduled to arrive in Beijing to take part in the India-China Special Representative talks on boundary issue with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. After Jaipur, CJP faces backlash in Jodhpur. Locals raise slogans against CJP members. Suspected IED recovered in Chandigarh. 3 held over possible terror plot, accused allegedly linked to Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorists. All right, viewers, let's begin this bulletin with a big development that we're getting, a big breaking news development, a sad story, unfortunate incident which happened in Amravati. A fire broke out at around 3:30 a.m. in the neonatal intensive care unit, that is the NICU of the Amravati District Women's Hospital in Amravati, Maharashtra, after a ventilator exploded, that is after a ventilator explosion. Now 3 newborn infants who suffered burns. Of the 39 newborns admitted to the ward, many others were successfully saved as doctors, nurses and staff on duty immediately moved the infants away from the ventilators. It's a very unfortunate story where a few newborn babies died because of the incident. A fire broke out at around 3:30 a.m. in the NICU, that is the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit of the Amravati District Women's Hospital in Amravati, Maharashtra, after a ventilator explosion happened, and this killed 3 newborn infants who suffered severe burns out of the 39 newborns who were admitted to the ward. And many others were also successfully saved by the quick thinking of the doctors, the nurses and the staff on duty, who immediately moved the infants away from the ventilators. But unfortunately, 3 lives were lost. 3 babies died because of this incident, this unfortunate incident in Amravati. All right, viewers, let's go across to another big breaking news development that we are getting. This is that Chandigarh police have arrested 3 suspected Babbar Khalsa International, that is BKI operatives, Lavrov Singh, Jashanpreet Singh alias Jashandeep and Prabpreet Singh alias Prab on specific intelligence about their movement in the city. Now, approximately 5 kilograms of gelatin stick explosives, a detonator, power source, remotely operated system, 1 pistol, a magazine and 5 live cartridges were recovered from them. Now, a preliminary probe indicates that they were acting on the directions of foreign-based BKI handler Satnam alias Satta Naushera and had planned to plant an IED in Chandigarh to create terror. Now, further investigation is underway into the wider network. Now, the source of the explosives and other associates, it's being investigated. But the big development is 3 have been arrested, and these are the BKI, Babbar Khalsa International operatives, terrorists who are even linked to their operatives in Pakistan. Chandigarh police have busted a terror plot with 3 arrests and a major recovery of explosives, a detonator, weapons and electronic equipment. Now, police say that the accused were allegedly acting on the directions of foreign-based BKI handler, that is Babbar Khalsa International handler Satnam alias Satta Naushera. Now, sources also point to a Pakistan ISI angle as investigators probe the wider terror network and the intended target of the alleged attack.
A terror plot has been busted in Chandigarh, with police making 3 arrests following specific intelligence about the movement of suspected Babbar Khalsa International operatives. The operation has now triggered a wider probe into the terror network. Police have identified 3 accused as Lavrov Singh, Jashanpreet Singh alias Jashandeep and Prabpreet Singh alias Prab. Police say the 3 had planned to plant an IED in Chandigarh with the intention of spreading terror. Sources investigating the case claim the accused were allegedly in contact with the Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorist and were allegedly working at the direction of Pakistan's ISI. According to the preliminary investigation, the accused were allegedly acting on the directions of foreign-based BKI handler Satnam alias Satta Naushera. The investigation is now focused on the alleged Pakistan-based handler, the source of the explosive material, and the wider network behind the conspiracy. While the police are now working to establish the intended target and identify other associates linked to the alleged conspiracy.
Bangladesh has witnessed yet another deadly incident involving a Hindu family. In Rangpur, 4 members of a Hindu family were found dead inside their locked home after relatives reported them missing for several days. Now, police say the house appeared ransacked and investigators are examining both murder and robbery as possible motives. Now, Detective Branch, CID and Crime Scene Unit are probing the case, while 2 people have reportedly been arrested in connection with the case, with the killings. Take a look at this report.
4 members of a Hindu family were found dead inside their locked home in Rangpur of Bangladesh. The deceased have been identified as 65-year-old retired school teacher Ganapati Chakraborty, his wife Pritilata, their daughter Aarti, and their 12-year-old son Priyam. The family had reportedly been unreachable for several days. On Saturday night, relatives went to the house, noticed the foul smell and alerted the police. Police broke open the locks and recovered the 4 bodies from different parts of the house.
না না এটা তো হৃদয় বিদারক মানে কি আমি তো ওখানে যে আমি আমার বুকের ভিতরটা ফাটে যাচ্ছে যে এই নিরীহ মানুষ এটা তো কারোর সাথে কোনো অন্যায় করে নাই তার মতন প্লেন লোক নাই যে জীবনে কাউকে একটা কটু কথা বলে নাই তার সন্তান দুইটাও খুব সুন্দর ঘরের ভিতরে আমি যে বিভৎসতা দেখছি এটা ভাষায় বর্ণনা করার মতো না এই পরিকল্পিত হত্যাকাণ্ড তার টাকা পয়সা যদি নেওয়ার দরকার থাকতো তাকে বলতো
Investigators believe the killing may have taken place 3 to 4 days earlier. The house was found ransacked, with furniture, clothes and cupboards scattered.
আমরা সুষ্ঠু বিচার চাচ্ছি আমরা সরকারের কাছে করজোড়ে সপরিবারের বিচার চাচ্ছি আমার পরিবারে কেউ নেই ওই একটাই ছেলে আমার বংশে ওই একটাই বাচ্চা ওকে মেরে ফেলছে আমরা 2 বোন আর এরা 2 ভাই বোন এই ছেলেটাকে মেরে সবাই আমারও 2টা মেয়ে ছেলে এই শেষ
Police are examining both the possibility of a planned murder and robbery as the motive. The detective branch, CID and crime scene unit have joined the investigation while evidence has been collected from the house. While the investigation into the deaths is underway, 2 people have already been arrested for the murder.
All right, viewers, now let's move ahead and get you all the top international developments now in international wraps. French President Emmanuel Macron and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman attended the eSports World Cup's closing ceremony in Paris, the tournament's first outside Saudi Arabia. On his first foreign trip since a November 2025 Washington visit, the Crown Prince is expected to discuss alternatives to the Strait of Hormuz with Macron, including expanded Omani port trade, doubled pipelines and new rail links. A Franco-Saudi task force on energy and logistics meets at ministerial level Monday. Kazakhstan held its first election to a new single-chamber parliament called the Kurultai, expected to cement President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev's control. The pro-presidential Adalet party is widely predicted to win a sweeping majority alongside smaller Tokayev-aligned parties. The vote follows a March referendum backed by 87% of voters that merged parliament's 2 chambers and expanded presidential powers, including reviving the vice presidency. Tokayev said he expects the new deputies to be accountable for law quality and delivering on promises. Cameroon's 93-year-old President Paul Biya met the women's national football team on Saturday, now marking his first public appearance since returning from a 2-month stay abroad that fueled health and governance concerns. Now the indomitable Lionesses beat Malawi. Indonesian authorities arrested 72 people suspected of illegally starting forest and peatland fires as helicopters carried out water bombing to fight the blazes. Over 3,700 hotspots were recorded in Borneo and 1,700 in South Sumatra, where haze has cut visibility to as little as 1 meter. Officials say plantation owners and farmers often start the fires illegally to clear land, prompting a crackdown by police in the past week. All right, viewers, we're getting a big breaking news development, and this is Iran. Iran issuing fresh warning over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has warned that non-compliant ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz will face fines and even detention. Tehran said that it has tightened transit protocols and vessels violating them will face penalties, including seizure. Now, it further warned that support for the U.S. economic war will be treated as an act of war and you will be our enemies. And also, this was Iran warning that not a single drop of oil will pass through the Strait of Hormuz and other localities nearby because of the warning that has been given by Iran over support of the Middle Eastern countries towards United States of America and the economic warfare that US is adamant on. And now we're getting another big breaking news development where Iran has once again issued a warning, a fresh warning over Strait of Hormuz. Iran has warned that non-compliant ships passing through Strait of Hormuz will face fines and even detention. All right, viewers, we're getting another big breaking news development. Let's go across to that. This is Scott Bessent stated that President Trump has dismantled Iran's military capabilities, and he says that destroyed nearly 100% of its military factories and buried its nuclear program, marking the start of an endgame featuring the greatest financial offensive ever mounted against an adversary. An economic D-Day, or the doomsday as they call it, that's the threat that is being given by the United States of America. That's the warning by America, and they say an economic D-Day to sever every lifeline sustaining the regime. He noted that the Islamic Republic long survived by framing extortion as security guarantees and assuming Iranian retaliation was certain, while American enforcement remained negotiable under Trump. That era is over, and those who fear defying Tehran should not underestimate the cost of testing Washington. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat is set to begin a 3-nation visit to the United States, Canada and the United Kingdom from August 25 as the organization nears the end of its centenary year. Now, the US leg will center on New York, where he is scheduled to take part in the Universal Oneness celebrations on August 29, focused on community engagement, interfaith dialogue and the message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Take a look.
RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat is set to begin a 3-nation visit to the US, Canada and the UK from the 25th of August as the organization nears the end of its centenary year. The US leg will be centered around New York, where Bhagwat is scheduled to participate in the Universal Oneness celebrations on the 29th of August, an event focused on community engagement, interfaith dialogue and the message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The visit also comes as the RSS seeks to expand its engagement beyond India, with its centenary year outreach placing greater emphasis on the organization's cultural roots.
I think more than what to expect, I would see this visit in the nature of an experiment. The RSS trying to move beyond Indian shores to reach out to the Indian diaspora, particularly the Hindu community abroad in UK, Canada and the USA. The message will be simple: cultural nationalism, Hindu nationalism, trying to propagate Hindu religion and the interests of what is Indian interests or interests of Bharat. And also it will also be an attempt to settle and address a lot of misgivings as well as about the role of the RSS. I think the emphasis will be on emphasizing its cultural roots, its roots as a non-government organization. I think the effort will be to address its cultural roots of an organization which represents one of the largest NGOs in the world, and also how to take forward the interests of Hindus across the world.
The outreach comes with a broader objective: to present what the RSS describes as a factual and positive perspective on India, Hindu society, and the organization.
I think one of the key objectives, and I don't say this in any official form because I'm an independent observer and I'm not representing RSS or Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh in US, but my understanding is that the key objective of the visit is to connect not just with the Hindu community in America and Canada and other parts of the North American continent, but also to build strengthen relationships with other communities of the Indian diaspora from diverse social and religious backgrounds, as well as to build relationships with the American mainstream, including those on both sides of the political spectrum.
And the timing is significant as the RSS has completed 100 years since its founding in 1925, making this one of its major overseas outreach initiatives.
RSS leader Mohan Bhagwat is on a 2 weeks foreign trip, UK, USA, Canada, like that. He is going to propagate the 100th year of RSS and also the Hinduism, Hindu ideals, etc. But majority of the delegation of RSS belonging to the RSS only. But at the same time, those who are against Mr. Mohan Bhagwat's visit to USA are all from Pakistan, Turkey and other places, also George Soros group. The same ecosystem is doing that. Those who denied the opportunity for Mr. Narendra Modi as a chief minister, the same group now articulating this of Mohan Bhagwat.
For the RSS, the centenary outreach is also being seen as an opportunity to project a larger role for the organization beyond India's borders and strengthen its engagement with communities abroad.
It is a sign of confidence. In the last 12 years, the BJP has been in power and the connection between BJP and RSS is hidden from none. It's well known, well established. BJP is one of the organizations of the RSS. So they are definitely feeling more confident, more secure, and I think they are increasingly more ambitious about the role they want to play, not just within India, but also become some kind of representative of Hindu interests or Bharat's interests across the world.
But Bhagwat's proposed visit to the US has also drawn criticism, as the US Commission on International Religious Freedom has urged Washington to consider sanctions against RSS members. It has called for RSS leaders to be denied high-level meetings or diplomatic courtesies, attracting strong rebuttal from India's Ministry of External Affairs.
ये जो संस्था की आप बात कर रहे हैं, जो इकाई की बात कर रहे हैं, ये सबको हमको पता है कि ये एक पक्षपाती संस्था है और कितने सालों से ही, कई एक सालों से ये भारत के बारे में उल्टी सीधी बातें और साथ में भड़काने वाली बातें ये करता रहा है। तो मैं तो कहूँगा कि ऐसे संस्थानों से हमको दूर रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये संस्थान और ऐसे संस्थान के पास अपने खुद के एक एजेंडा होता है और साथ ही साथ इनका कोई साख या तो कोई विश्वसनीयता इसमें नहीं है। तो ये मैं आपके जवाब में कहना चाहूँगा।
The RSS, however, is expected to use the visit to engage with communities and counter what its functionaries describe as misconceptions about India, Hindu society, and the organization.
My simple understanding is RSS has got an external outfit called HSS, and they are convening a meeting in USA and UK. Dr. Mohan Bhagwat is going to preside over such meetings and propagate the ideals of Hinduism. Also brand the full version of Vande Mataram, which is very, very, very important to all Hindus like that.
The outreach is one among many made by RSS youngest chief, having spoken to Gen Z recently.
जन जी ने आंदोलन नहीं करना चाहिए वगैरह ऐसा मैं करूँगा नहीं, लेकिन कैसे करना, क्या करना डेमोक्रेसी में, इसके तरीके भी बताए हैं. अब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हमको जिन्होंने दिया, डॉक्टर बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर का, अगर 2 स्पीचेस हमने पढ़ लिए तो ये कैसे करना, क्या करना, उसका उसमें इंडिकेशन है, वो देखना चाहिए. और हम लोगों को भी ऐसा देखना चाहिए कि अगर जैन जी चिल्ला रही है तो विरोध के लिए नहीं चिल्ला रही, कुछ तकलीफ है इसलिए चिल्ला. बिल्कुल, उसको ठीक करना चाहिए. एजिटेशन जो होना है वो आपके खिलाफ या मेरे खिलाफ न होकर वो सिस्टम करेक्शन के लिए होना चाहिए.
The visit is also taking place against the backdrop of debates within the Indian diaspora, including opposition from some groups in Canada. RSS supporters argued that these voices should not overshadow the larger outreach, while acknowledging that Khalistani activism has been visible across parts of North America, the UK and Australia.
So there is opposition to RSS leadership's visit, especially Mohan Bhagwatji's visit to Canada and to US. The opposition primarily comes from segments of the Canadian population that represent the Khalistan cult that has a history of terrorism, not just in India, but also in Canada and other parts of North America. It is a problem that Canada is struggling to deal with. But I do not think that this opposition should be taken that seriously, because the people involved in this opposition are not people who have a very high level of social capital.
The bigger question is whether Bhagwat's outreach can help build new channels of dialogue at a time when India's relationships with key Western partners face their own challenges.
I think UK-India relations have never been greater. I think they are at a great high, certainly with the free trade agreement that went ahead earlier this year in July when it came into force. And of course, it was the brainchild of former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who established the roadmap 2030 to elevate and level up the ties that exist between our two countries. But having said that, I think, look, there's always going to be what some people might classify as irritants to any strategic relationship. But ultimately, I think this relationship that exists between the UK and India is far greater than any fringe element that might express their dissatisfaction at a bilateral relationship. This transcends all of that.
And while the visit is being closely watched politically, Bhagwat's supporters insist the outreach should not be viewed through an anti-Sikh lens, arguing that its stated focus is on India, Hindu society and the diaspora.
Indian consolidation under the broader sort of nationalist framework the RSS has nurtured. Let's not forget that, and that the Modi government has given political expression to. You know what? It's not anti-Sikh. It is pro-Bharat. It is pro-India, and Sikhs, along with all the other great religions that make up this new India, are an integral and proud part of this civilizational nation. You look at the way that Sikhs within India are able to rise to the top. You look at your Chief of Air Staff, right? AP Singh. You look at your Minister, Hardeep Puri, in charge of energy security. You look at the recently selected new Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Ambassador Taranjit Singh's Sandhu, right? All these people are great Indian Sikhs, and they've risen to the top on merit. And they've risen to the top on merit under Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
From New York to Toronto and London, the coming days will put the RSS's centenary year global outreach in focus. And for Bhagwat, the immediate test will be whether the visit can translate its messages of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam into wider dialogue with the diaspora and mainstream society, while navigating criticism and political sensitivities surrounding the organization.
All right, viewers, time for a short break. Coming up next, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval scheduled to arrive in Beijing to take part in the India-China Special Representatives talks on the boundary issue with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Pure.
US-Canada trade ties have hit a major breaking point after trade talks collapsed and Washington imposed 50% tariffs on $20 billion of Canadian goods. Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney has vowed dollar-for-dollar retaliation from September 8, putting $880 billion in bilateral trade at risk.
The high-level United States and Canadian delegation walked away from the negotiating table, leaving the economic relationship between the world's closest trading partners in absolute tatters. The two sides appeared to close a deal to lower tariffs on steel, aluminium and cars, but the deal was scuttled at the last minute. Meanwhile, the White House has officially slapped a massive 50% tariff on $20 billion worth of Canadian imports. Now the defiant Prime Minister Mark Carney has rejected the White House's terms and conditions. In fact, he accuses the American negotiators of introducing last-minute demands that threaten Canadian economic sovereignty.
And while we believed earlier this week that we were moving towards a mutually beneficial agreement, in recent days the United States proposed new terms that were uneconomic, unfair, and undermined the net benefits for Canada and called into question the reliability of any deal. In short, they asked too much and they offered too little. More fundamentally, the cumulative effect of U.S. demands revealed the limits of their commitment to a true economic partnership.
Donald Trump has criticized Canada's trade policies and reiterated his pushback against what he sees as an unfair treatment to the United States farmers. The two sides continue to blame each other for the collapse and have failed to ultimately reach a compromise.
All right, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, suspected ID recovered in Chandigarh, 3 held over possible terror plot, accused allegedly linked to Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorists.
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing grip. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चंकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
Bharatiya Janata Party has accused the Congress of paying social media influencers 25,000 rupees to attend Rahul Gandhi's Chhatron Ki Goonj program in Pune, which is scheduled on August 22nd. The BJP shared a video claiming it shows a phone conversation between a social media influencer with a worker of the Congress party, who asks her to attend the event and highlight it on her social media handle. The person on the other side of the phone can be heard telling the social media influencer that she will be paid 25,000 rupees to attend the event in Pune.
25 you said, and the travel cost. So can you make it everything in 25 and then you can go?
Okay. And how would the payment process be done?
Payment will be after the event, 1 or 2 days after the event, and I will make the payment. I will ask your account details or UPI ID.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and a very good morning. You're watching live this morning on Republic TV. My name is Nayan Shukla. Now from Ajit Doval visiting Beijing for his meeting to also CJP facing the backlash. We're tracking all of this for you. Right now it's time for the headlines. Let's delve in. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to attend the 9th National Security Strategies Conference in New Delhi. The two-day event is to deliberate on the challenges of the national security. Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan backs One Nation, One Election, says frequent elections are an obstacle to development. Precious time and money goes to waste. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval scheduled to arrive in Beijing to take part in the India-China Special Representatives talks on the boundaries issue with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. After Jaipur, CJP faces backlash in Jodhpur. Locals raise slogans against CJP members. Suspected IED recovered in Chandigarh. 3 held over possible terror plot. Accused allegedly linked to Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorist. Here's a fire broke out at around 3:30 a.m. in the neonatal intensive care unit, which is the NICU in the Amravati District Women's Hospital. This is in Amravati, Maharashtra, where this breaking news is coming. There's a fire that broke out, and unfortunately, 3 newborn babies were suffered, injured, and they were killed. Out of the 39 newborns which were admitted in the ward, right now we're getting the breaking news that the fire exploded, and these are the visuals that are coming in on the television screen. This fire broke out at 3:30 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, in the neonatal intensive care unit of Maharashtra, Amravati district, in the women's hospital. Also, we're getting to know the infants who lost their life were suffering from severe burns, and right now 39 new babies which were admitted, out of them 3 have lost their life. But the successful part is that the doctors were able to save several other newborn babies, approximately 36 of them. But disturbing visuals, unfortunate and sad visuals on your television screen of the neonatal intensive care unit coming in from Amravati District Women's Hospital from Maharashtra. Viewers, it was successful that many other kids, newborn babies, were saved by the doctors and nurses and the staff on duty, which immediately moved the infants away from the ventilators when the whole system of the neonatal intensive care unit actually caught fire. This fire actually broke out at 3:30 a.m. and there was a ventilator explosion which took the life of 3 newborn babies, while 33 others were saved during the incident. Viewers, Chandigarh police have busted a terror plot with 3 arrests and major recovery of explosives, a detonator, weapons and electronic equipment. Police say that the accused were allegedly acting on the directions of foreign-based BKI handler Satnam alias Satta Naushera. Now, sources are also pointing to the Pakistani ISI angle as investigators probe the wider terror network and the intended target of the alleged attack. Here's everything that we know in this story. Take a look.
A terror plot has been busted in Chandigarh, with police making 3 arrests following specific intelligence about the movement of suspected Babbar Khalsa international operatives. The operation has now triggered a wider probe into the terror network. Police have identified 3 accused as Lovepreet Singh, Jashanpreet Singh alias Jashandeep and Prabhpreet Singh alias Prabh. Police say the 3 had planned to plant an IED in Chandigarh with the intention of spreading terror. Sources investigating the case claim the accused were allegedly in contact with the Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorist and were allegedly working at the direction of Pakistan's ISI. According to the preliminary investigation, the accused were allegedly acting on the directions of foreign-based BKI handler Satnam alias Satta Naushera. The investigation is now focused on the alleged Pakistan-based handler, the source of the explosive material, and the wider network behind the conspiracy. While the police are now working to establish the intended target and identify other associates linked to the alleged conspiracy.
Viewers, the Congress Haryana unit is in turmoil, with the party now facing an internal rebellion over the Dipendra Hooda's remark in the 1984 riots. Convict Sajjan Kumar, former Haryana Speaker and ex-Congress MLA Kuldeep Sharma, has written to the party President Arjun Kharge. Now, he's demanding Hooda's removal from the Congress Working Committee and also accusing him of making irresponsible remarks that have arranged and angered the Sikh community and hurt the party's interest ahead of the Punjab polls. More in this story. Take a look.
Congress faces internal rebellion as ex-Congress MLA Kuldeep Sharma seeks removal of Congress leader Dipendra Hooda from the Congress Working Committee. The former Haryana Vidhan Sabha Speaker wrote to Congress President Arjun Kharge, urging the party leadership to remove Dipendra Hooda from CWC over his remarks praising Sajjan Kumar. In his letter, Sharma said that Hooda's comments have sent shock waves among the Sikh community of India and damaged Congress interest on the eve of Punjab polls. Sharma further said the Congress should completely disassociate itself from Sajjan Kumar and that such immature and irresponsible remarks have weakened the party. This action comes as the Congress party faced huge backlash following the Rohtak Congress MP Dipendra Hooda calling 1984 anti-Sikh riot convict Sajjan Kumar a role model. Congress own party leader Charanjit Singh Channi distanced himself from Rahul and company over Hooda's remarks.
Sajjan Kumar Sikh कौम दा कातल है, गद्दार है, इन्हें साजिश की थी सिखां नूं मारन दी और मरवाए, इनू 2 बार उम्र कैद सज़ा हो चुकी। जब मैं मुख्यमंत्री बनया मैं उदों मंग की सी मैनू संभालो इनू, तां मैं पंजाब सरकार वालों दसां किस तरह मानवता का कत्ल किया जा रहा कीता इन्हां ने। ये गल कल्ली सिख कौम दी नहीं है, इस बंदे ने मानवता नूं शर्मसार कीता है। हज़ारां सिखां नूं ਕਤਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਟਾਇਰ ਗਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਾਇਰ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਸਾੜਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੜ ਕੇ ਲੁੱਟਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਪੱਤ ਰੋਲੀ ਗਈ, ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ? ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਨਿੰਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਗਦਾਰ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ, ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ, ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਲੈਣਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਪ ਹੈ।
However, MP Dipender Hooda today denied calling Sajjan Kumar a role model.
मैंने कल भी इस बात को क्लैरिफाई किया कि पिछले 2 दिन से मैं देख रहा हूं कि कुछ लोग मेरी बात को तोड़ मरोड़ के लोगों के सामने रख रहे हैं। मेरी गुजारिश है कि सबसे पहले तो मैंने वो शब्द नहीं कहा जो अंग्रेजी का जो शब्द रोल मॉडल, जो शब्द मेरे बयान के साथ जोड़ा जा रहा है, मैंने वो बोला ही नहीं, जो मैंने जिसका प्रयोग भी नहीं किया। मेरी कोई भी मंशा किसी हमारे भाई को ठेस पहुंचाने की नहीं थी। सिख समाज के हमारे भाइयों को तो ठेस पहुंचाने की मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता, ना मेरी कभी कोई भावना ऐसी थी। लेकिन फिर भी सिख समाज हमारा अपना परिवार है। अगर किसी भाई को की भावनाएं से ठेस हुई हैं तो मैं आपका भाई हूँ, मैं खेद प्रकट करता हूँ। मेरी मंशा, मेरा मकसद किसी का दिल दुखी करना नहीं था।
Now with Congress own leaders coming out against it, the party seems to be an internal war over its own stance on Sajjan Kumar.
Viewers, in our next breaking, fish was served at a Congress event in Ayodhya during the holy month of Sawan, which has now sparked a big controversy. The UP Congress chief Ajay Rai was in Ayodhya on Sunday, where he visited the Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir, and after that there was an event that sparked a row. Fish was served at a Congress event, and this was cited after he went to the mandir, he recited the Hanuman Chalisa, but later when he went for this event at the Tarun Bazaar, which was organized by the Congress leader Ram Nihal Nishad, fish was served, and a video of this being prepared at a banquet hall has surfaced online. So BJP has called this as an insult to the Sanatan, and the Sawan is considered definitely as a holy month for the Hindus. So on your television screen are visuals of where this preparation was held, and all of this has been organized by the Congress leader Ram Nihal Nishad, where this a big controversy and sparked in the holy month, sacred month for Hindus of Sawan.
अजय राय आजकल लगातार अयोध्या आना जाना कर रहे हैं, और आज उन्होंने अयोध्या आया और इस पावन पवित्र श्रावण मास के उपलक्ष्य में हनुमान जी का दर्शन भी किया, और उसके बाद उन्होंने जो पाप करने का काम किया है, जो है भगवान भूत भावन के जो है इस पावन पवित्र अवसर पर जिस तरह से उनके स्वागत में मछली भोज का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, अपने आप में दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, निंदनीय है। वही मार्ग कांवड़ यात्रियों की मार्ग है, जिस तरह से इन्होंने सनातन संस्कृति के ऊपर, इस पावनता के ऊपर कुठाराघात करने का जो चेष्टा किया है, इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए उतना कम है।
Viewers, tensions have gripped Mazagaon in Mumbai after allegations that eggs were thrown at a Ganesh idol during its arrival procession. These are tensions that have gripped Mazagaon area, which is in Mumbai. It is alleged that yesterday evening, during the arrival procession of a Ganesh idol, which was organized by a mandal in Mumbai's Mazagaon area, unidentified individuals threw eggs at the idol from a building. Now, this is the building where the eggs were thrown from, and a large crowd that gathered at the scene followed the incident. Now, in the light of the situation, the senior police officers, of course, stepped in, and there was police personnel and forces that were deployed. But the crowds demanded an immediate arrest of the accused and reportedly pelted stones from the building from where the eggs were thrown. So the police have now pacified the crowd, but currently it is a peaceful protest that has taken place, but the situation actually erupted into a big situation where stones were hurled back at the building. Viewers, Jharkhand students have launched a mega campaign for jobs at the Nyaya Yatra. This is the other breaking news that we're getting. there is a Nyaya Yatra that is going to take place where the Jharkhand students have launched a mega campaign for jobs. Now, the recruitment system reform yatra will cover 24 districts starting today till the 24th of August, where the alleged irregularities in the JPSC and JSSC recruitment. Now, yatra will begin at 11 a.m. from the Shibu Soren ancestral village in the Lukiatad, and this is going to be a tribute to the Jharkhand martyrs, traditional rituals, and of course planting of the Sakua sapling. So a big yatra is going to take place. It's called the Nyaya Yatra. It's organized by the Jharkhand students, and they've launched this mega campaign in return for jobs and also, of course, over the alleged irregularities in the JPSC and JSSC recruitment.
दिनों से हम लोग लगातार संघर्ष कर रहे हैं भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भर्ती अभियान के तहत। अब हम लोग इस आंदोलन को आगे एक महत्वपूर्ण नए चरण का ऐलान किए हैं। आगामी 24 अगस्त 2026 से भर्ती व्यवस्था सुधार यात्रा जो 24 जिलों में होगी, जिसका हम लोग पूर्व में ही सूचना दे चुके हैं, लेकिन पूरे झारखंड प्रदेश के आम आवाम इस बात से के इंतजार में है कि कब कौन सा जिला पे कब ये यात्रा पहुंचेगी। और पूरे झारखंड के छात्र इस यात्रा से बहुत ही उत्सुक हैं और यह यात्रा से बहुत ही विश्वास है, उम्मीद है कि छात्रों को न्याय मिलेगा और यह संघर्ष एक महत्वपूर्ण संघर्ष साबित होगी।
Because nearly 3 years after Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar was killed in Canada, a fresh claim has surfaced over the murder. Gangster Goldie Barar has claimed responsibility for Nijjar's killing in a leaked audio conversation with the UK-based Khalistani terrorist Paramjeet Singh Panna. More in this report. Take a look.
Gangster Goldie Barar has allegedly claimed responsibility for Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar's murder. A leaked audio conversation between Barar and UK-based Khalistani terrorist Paramjeet Singh Panna has surfaced. In the conversation, Barar says that he and his gang were behind Nijjar's killing. Barar accused Nijjar of supporting people who were involved in distributing drugs to the youth.
Gangster Goldie Barar has allegedly claimed responsibility for the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada in a purported leaked audio clip. Barar allegedly made the claim while speaking to Khalistani terrorist Paramjeet Singh Panna. In the purported audio, Barar allegedly said that he and his associates had to kill Nijjar over his alleged involvement in prompting drug-related activities among young people. Barar allegedly accused Nijjar of supporting individuals who recruited and pressured teenagers into selling drugs and becoming informants. Hardeep Singh Nijjar was shot dead outside a Gurdwara in Surrey, British Columbia on June 18, 2023 by unidentified gunmen. Nijjar's killing triggered a major India-Canada diplomatic row after the then Canadian PM Justin Trudeau alleged a possible link to the Indian government agents. India, however, rejected that claims and termed it as bogus. The development comes after Canadian investigators said in July 2026 that they had found no evidence linking Indian officials to Nijjar's killing.
The development comes nearly 3 years after Nijjar's killing, which had become a major international controversy. With Trudeau's bluff being called out, should Canada apologize for targeting India for Nijjar's murder?
Viewers, heading to our next segment where we tell you everything that's making waves in the nation with National Wrap. Let's take a look. Two sitting legislators were injured after their SUV collided with a car that had veered off course near ITO on Wednesday night. Police said that the car driven by Ashutosh Pandey hit a road divider before crashing into the Innova carrying the Delhi MLA Anil Jha and Karnataka MLA Abhay Patil. Now, all occupants both the vehicles, including Pandey's wife and 2 children, suffered minor injuries and were taken to LNJP Hospital. Their conditions are now reported to be stable. Actor Rohila Mehdi, who starred alongside Shahid Kapoor in Deva, was arrested in by the Kashmira police for allegedly drug trafficking along with an associate, identified as Kasif. Now, police seized 28 grams of MD worth rupees 5.6 lakhs as a tip-off that led to the Dahisar check Naka. Mehdi has been named as the main accused in the FIR and has sent for a 5-day police custody as further investigation continues. Hooghly Rural Police arrested District TMC President and former Tarakeshwar Municipality Chairman Uttam Kundu, who had been absconding on charges including corruption, extortion, forgery and offences under the Arms Act. A court granted police the 14-day custody and a mob attempted to attack Kundu while he was being taken to the Tarakeshwar police station. He was accused of extorting 40 lakhs rupees from Kolkata businessmen and an illegal land grabbing. Tribal students protesting near Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj Garden are demanding better hostel and school facilities, healthcare and student safety. The agitation, ongoing since the 13th of August with an indefinite hunger strike, seeks 1 crore rupee compensation for 3 girls who died by a snake bite at the residential school, 10 crore rupees insurance for hostel students and also filing of 12,500 pending tribal recruitment posts. The protesters are also demanding withdrawal of the 5th August government resolution that they call as unjust. Right now, Mumbai is in full preparation mode for Ganesh Chaturthi, with the festival running from Monday, the 14th September to Anant Chaturdashi on Friday, which is the 25th of September this year. Pandals across the city are being decked up by artisans, putting final touches on the idols ahead of the 10-day celebration. One of Mumbai's biggest cultural events, drawing massive crowds for procession and for immersion through the festive period. Viewers, Bangladesh has witnessed yet another deadly incident involving a Hindu family. In Rangpur, 4 members of the Hindu family were found dead inside their locked homes after relatives reported them missing for several days. Police say that the house appeared ransacked. Investigators are examining both the murder and robbery as possible motives. Detective Branch, CID and Crime Scenes Unit are probing the case, while 2 people have reportedly been arrested in the connection with the killing. Take a look at this report.
4 members of a Hindu family were found dead inside their locked home in Rangpur of Bangladesh. The deceased have been identified as 65-year-old retired school teacher Ganapati Chakraborty, his wife Pritilata, their daughter Aarti, and their 12-year-old son Priyam. The family had reportedly been unreachable for several days. On Saturday night, relatives went to the house, noticed a foul smell and alerted the police. Police broke open the locks and recovered the 4 bodies from different parts of the house.
মানে এটা তো হৃদয় বিদারক, মানে কি আমি তো ওখানে যে আমি আমার বুকের ভিতরটা ফাটে যাচ্ছে যে এই নিরীহ মানুষ, এটা তো কারোর সাথে কোনো অন্যায় করে নাই, তার মতন প্লেন লোক নাই যে জীবনে কাউকে একটা কটু কথা বলে নাই। তার সন্তান দুইটাও খুব সুন্দর। ঘরের ভিতরে আমি যে বিভৎসতা দেখছি এটা ভাষায় বর্ণনা করার মতো না। এই পরিকল্পিত হত্যাকাণ্ড, তার টাকা পয়সা যদি নেওয়ার দরকার থাকতো তাকে বলতো।
Investigators believe the killing may have taken place 3 to 4 days earlier. The house was found ransacked, with furniture, clothes and cupboards scattered.
আমরা সুষ্ঠু বিচার চাচ্ছি, আমরা সরকারের কাছে করজোড়ে সপরিবারের বিচার চাচ্ছি। আমার পরিবারে কেউ নেই, ওই একটাই ছেলে আমার পক্ষে, ওই একটাই বাচ্চা, ওকে মেরে ফেলছে। আমরা 2 বোন আর এরা 2 ভাই বোন। এই ছেলেটাকে মেরে সবাই, আমারও 2টা মেয়ে ছেলে। এই শেষ।
Police are examining both the possibility of a planned murder and robbery as the motive. The detective branch, CID and crime scene unit have joined the investigation while evidence has been collected from the house. While the investigation into the deaths is underway, 2 people have already been arrested for the murder.
Heading into a short commercial break, you're watching live this morning on Republic TV. Don't go anywhere. There's a world of news waiting for you on the other side. Coming up, after Jaipur, CJP faces backlash in Jodhpur. Local raise slogans against CJP members.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग रंग रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग रंग रंगीन रे रंग 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 बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी every day.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
Welcome back to this edition of Live This Morning. A massive fire has broken out at the warehouse in Russia's St. Petersburg. On Sunday, the flames engulfing the area around 82,000 square kilometers. In fact, the warehouse itself covered about 22,000 square meters and stored paper and polymer material. Now, firefighters have battled the situation as authorities are warning of risk of further spread. Here's everything that we know in this story. Take a look.
A massive warehouse fire erupted in St. Petersburg on Sunday, sending thick flames through the industrial facility as firefighters rushed to contain the blaze. Russia's emergency minister said the affected areas stretched across 82,000 square meters, while the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters. The facility was being used to store paper and polymer materials, creating a particularly difficult challenge for firefighters battling the intense flames. Emergency officials warned that the heat, flying sparks and burning fragments from the materials could allow the fire to spread further. Fire crews continued operations around the warehouse as officers coordinated the firefighting response and worked to prevent the blaze from extending to nearby areas.
That's all that we have for you in this edition of Live and Breaking. Coming up after a short break, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval scheduled to arrive in Beijing as a part of the India-China Special Representative's talks on the boundary issue with the Chinese counterpart Wang Yi.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
कुछ तो सस्ता लो सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
Bharatiya Janata Party has accused the Congress of paying social media influencers 25,000 rupees to attend Rahul Gandhi's Chhatron Ki Goonj program.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah to attend the 9th National Security Strategies Conference in New Delhi. Today went to deliberate on challenges to national security. Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan backs one nation, one election, says frequent elections are an obstacle to development. Precious time and money goes to waste. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval scheduled to arrive in Beijing to take part in the India-China Special Representative's talks on the boundary issue with China counterpart Wang Yi. After Jaipur, CJP faces backlash in Jodhpur. Locals raise slogans against CJP members. Suspected IED recovered in Chandigarh. 3 held over possible terror plot. Accused allegedly linked to Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorists. All right, viewers, good morning. Welcome to Republic. This is Live this morning with me, Karwan Seth. Starting with our first story today, the US-Canada trade ties have hit a major breaking point. Now, this happened after the talks collapsed and Washington imposed 50% tariffs on $20 billion of Canadian goods. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has vowed dollar-for-dollar retaliation from September 8th, putting $880 billion in bilateral trade at risk.
The high-level United States and Canadian delegation walked away from the negotiating table, leaving the economic relationship between the world's closest trading partners in absolute tatters. The two sides appeared to close a deal to lower tariffs on steel, aluminium and cars, but the deal was scuttled at the last minute. Meanwhile, the White House has officially slapped a massive 50% tariff on $20 billion worth of Canadian imports. Now the defiant Prime Minister Mark Carney has rejected the White House's terms and conditions. In fact, he accuses the American negotiators of introducing last-minute demands that threaten Canadian economic sovereignty.
And while we believed earlier this week that we were moving towards a mutually beneficial agreement, in recent days the United States proposed new terms that were uneconomic, unfair, and undermined the net benefits for Canada and called into question the reliability of any deal. In short, they asked too much and they offered too little. More fundamentally, the cumulative effect of U.S. demands revealed the limits of their commitment to a true economic partnership.
Donald Trump has criticized Canada's trade policies and reiterated his pushback against what he sees as an unfair treatment to the United States farmers. The two sides continue to blame each other for the collapse and have failed to ultimately reach a compromise.
The second World Humanoid Robot Games. This is a 5-day showcase where thousands of human-shaped machines are racing, jumping, and even performing Tai Chi. The event tests speed, balance, and dexterity, bringing together teams from over a dozen countries to compete in dozens of sports and real-world skill challenges. On the opening day, robots were seen completing the 100-meter dash faster than Usain Bolt's human world record, while traditional Chinese disciplines like Tai Chi put their control and grace to the test. Now, the spectacle offers a glimpse into how quickly humanoid robotics is moving from labs to athletic arenas now.
孩子来看看，这是中国目前最好的机器人是什么样子的，然后就是带他去看了解现在这个机器人的能力。
发令枪响，选手们的旗鼓都不错，哇，一骑绝尘。
红方选手脚下的动作非常的灵活。哇！这也是刚才和小龙学的旋风踢法。
走，看看smash该如何应对呢？还能够细微的调整脚下的步伐，你很灵活嘛。哇，两人打了得有20个回合了，大家觉得他们的表现怎么样？让他们听听你们的掌声好不好？行云流水。
在这里的枪响。
我把那个3脚架给他立起来一下。
对人类来说，这种运动非常常见，真的来说，由机器人做到，甚至那个反正感觉
所以我刚开始确实不怎么接受 AI 这个东西，甚至有一点排斥，觉得它可能替代了，或者说是取代了一部分的那个人的东西。但现在我觉得势不可挡啊。
31秒的投篮后，最后100秒100米非常好。40秒9完赛，观众朋友们把掌声送给我们天国，谢谢。全自主的方式来打比赛，那这种全自主方式是不是本身就？
Viewers, you're watching live this morning with me, Karun Seth on Republic. Now, a 4-year-old child is dead and at least 5 others have been injured after an Israeli airstrike hit home in central Gaza. The strike in Azweda came shortly after. Residents said they received a warning to leave the area. As rescuers searched through the destruction, families were once again left with no way safe to go. Here's the report with all the details for you.
A 4-year-old Mohammad Taha was killed after an Israeli airstrike hit a home in central Gaza's Zaweda. At least 5 others were also wounded in the strike, including a child, according to the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital. Residents said the strike came minutes after they were warned to flee the area, but the attack left homes destroyed and families.
An opportunity to interact with business persons through the Kedenren initiative. Thank you very much to all your senior colleagues, Kamezawa-san, Fukusawa-san, Hara-san, Kamezawa-san, Ogawa-san, Suzuki-san, Ito-san, Igarashi-san, and all the other distinguished friends from Japan. I've tested my eyes also. A very, very good morning to all the friends from India. Thank you very much for joining the largest ever delegation to leave the shores of India. This is a landmark occasion for all of us from India. We have never seen this kind of enthusiasm to join a delegation going overseas, ever. And I tell you, there were at least 70, 80 more persons who wanted to join. But I was advised by Her Excellency, the Ambassador of India to Japan, Ms. Nagma, that there's no more potential to handle anymore. Thank you very much, Excellency, and to your team for all the wonderful arrangements and for a program which I realized barely leaves me time to do my yoga in the morning. I must express my gratitude to all the three main chambers of commerce and industry from India, Mr. Anand Goenka, President of FICCI, who has taken the initiative to bring all the three chambers and the membership of all the three chambers together. We have Mr. Nirmal Minda, the President of ASSOCHAM. We have with us Mr. Chandrajit Banerjee, the Captain of Indian Industry, who is the Secretary General of CII, the largest chamber in India, Confederation of Indian Industry. We have Devin Narang, also from CII. You are from FICCI. And Dr. Suchitra Ella, who represents CII here today, along with all the other colleagues from the embassy and from many, many other chambers who have joined us today from across different regions of the country. Just to give you a little perspective before I get on to my comments, in this room of 200 Indian business persons, we have about 80 companies from northern India. We have about 68 companies from Western India. We have 34 companies from Southern India and about 28 companies from the eastern parts of India. Only to reflect that a wide diversity has joined this delegation. I'm even happier to report to you, and I think contextually this will be necessary because we are looking to forge partnerships between your companies, more particularly your MSMEs, as my dear friend and colleague Anand Goenka just mentioned, in different areas of business. But the sectors that we have, who have joined this delegation, include companies from the aerospace, agri-tech, artificial intelligence, automotive, biotech, chemicals, clean energy, consultancies, different consultancies, lawyers and chartered accountants, consumer durables, defense sector, educational services, 7 companies from educational services, electronics, energy, engineering, financial services, food processing, gems and jewelry, healthcare, infrastructure of different sorts, the IT and ITES sector, leather and footwear sector, logistics, engineering, production of different sorts, different manufacturing companies, metals and mining, pharmaceuticals, real estate, textiles, and tourism. I personally have led many delegations over the 12 years that I've been in government, but such a wide span of sectors expressing interest to do business with Japan is a vote of confidence to our partnership for growth, as the booklet which I believe we have shared with everybody speaks of the India-Japan partnership for growth. As Mr. Goenka just mentioned, our leaders have declared this year as the India-Japan Year of Shared Horizons, marking 75 years of diplomatic relations. You are a little bit older. I believe Kedarren is 80 years old. No better moment than today to discuss our partnership into the future and how we see the next decade folding out, how we see growing collaboration and cooperation between businesses to further strengthen the strong partnership that our leaders share. We just had a very successful visit of Her Excellency, the Prime Minister of Japan, Ms. Takaichi Sane, last month, and that was the 16th annual summit between the two nations. 129 MOUs were signed, reflecting the depth of this partnership. And I believe no better organization than yours to implement the large potential between Japan and India. We already have a large number of Japanese companies working in India. I believe that this decade should see that number double from the current levels. I'm told that Kedarren represents 1,580 companies, 103 industry associations, 47 prefectures. I admire your size, but more importantly, I admire your motto, policy and action. And that's exactly where I see our partnership assisting the businesses on both sides through policy support and making sure that the journey of Japanese companies to India and Indian companies to Japan is smooth, is seamless, is profitable, and leads to the shared prosperity of the people of Japan and India. Friends, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a comment, and I'd like to quote, "Over the past 12 years, we've been transforming India's economic DNA by embracing Kaizen, which is an offering from Japan. We believe in the principle of continuous improvement, and we are looking at..."
All right, viewers, that was Piyush Goyal for you live from Japan. Remember, he's on a 3-day visit to Japan with over 200 representatives from India, the biggest ever delegation into Japan. Moving on now, we've got some breaking news coming in now. Iran has issued fresh warning over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has warned that non-compliant ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz will face fines and detention. Tehran said it has tightened transit protocols and vessels violating them will face penalties, including seizure. It has warned that support for the US economic war will be treated as an act of war. Remember, Iran has now issued escalating security and maritime transit warnings surrounding the Strait of Hormuz conflict. It has put conditions stating that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed and will not reopen until the US fulfills its commitments under the June memorandum. Demands include unfreezing over 100 billion in Iranian assets, lifting the blockade and easing oil sanctions. Iran's Persian Gulf Strait Authority has announced that any vessel violating updated transit protocols faces fines, detention, or direct seizure during subsequent crossings. They've also come out with a blacklist list of banned vessels, which are basically non-compliant ships before chartering, and Iran has now warned and cautioned that even assisting blacklisted vessels, such as engaging in ship-to-ship transfers or transshipments, would result in those partnerships being added to the enforcement list as well. Now remember, this comes after the US President Donald Trump issued warnings of the latest ever economic operation against Iran. Another breaking news coming, viewers. Scott Bessent has stated that President Trump has dismantled Iran's military capabilities, destroyed nearly 100% of its military factories and buried its nuclear program, marking the start of an endgame featuring the greatest financial offensive ever mounted against an adversary, an economic D-Day to sever every lifeline sustaining the regime. He noted that the Islamic Republic no longer exists and long survived by framing extortion as security guarantees and assuming Iranian retaliation was certain, while American enforcement remained negotiable. He said that under Trump, that era is over, and those who fear defying Tehran should not underestimate the cost of testing Washington, as the president is now leveraging every agency and authority to isolate the tyrannical regime under Tehran stands alone. Now, back-to-back contradicting claims coming in. You've got warnings coming in from Iran. On the other hand, you've got Scott Bessent from the United States warning that President Trump has actually unleashed the largest economic operation against Iran. All right, viewers, keep watching Live this morning. We'll pause for a very short break, but don't go anywhere. Coming up right after. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to attend the 9th National Security Strategies Conference in New Delhi. Two-day event to deliberate on challenges to national security.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore.
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला. सच बेरो
कैसे करके क्या हो गया हम लोग को कुछ पता नहीं चला. तो हम लोग अभी क्या करेगा क्या नहीं कैसे चलेगा क्या करेगा. मेरा घर और भी कुछ भी नहीं है अच्छा से.
Viewers, Bangladesh has witnessed yet another deadly incident involving a Hindu family again. Now in Rangpur, 4 members of a Hindu family were found dead inside their locked home after relatives reported them missing for several days. Now police say the house appeared ransacked and investigators are examining both murder and robbery as possible motives. The Bangladesh Detective Branch, CID and Crime Scene Unit are probing the case, while 2 people have reportedly been arrested in connection with the killings. Have a look at the report.
4 members of a Hindu family were found dead inside their locked home in Rangpur of Bangladesh. The deceased have been identified as 65-year-old retired school teacher Ganapati Chakraborty, his wife Pritilata, their daughter Aarti, and their 12-year-old son Priyam. The family had reportedly been unreachable for several days. On Saturday night, relatives went to the house, noticed a foul smell and alerted the police. Police broke open the locks and recovered the 4 bodies from different parts of the house.
না এটা তো হৃদয় বিদারক মানে কি আমি তো ওখানে যে আমি আমার বুকের ভিতরটা ফাটে যাচ্ছে যে এই নিরীহ মানুষ এটা তো কারোর সাথে কোনো অন্যায় করে নাই তার মতন প্লেন লোক নাই যে জীবনে কাউকে একটা কটু কথা বলে নাই তার সন্তান দুইটাও খুব সুন্দর ঘরের ভিতরে আমি যে বিভৎস সুন্দরতা দেখছি এটা ভাষায় বর্ণনা করার মতো না এই পরিকল্পিত হত্যাকাণ্ড তার টাকা পয়সা যদি নেওয়ার দরকার থাকতো তাকে বলতো
Investigators believe the killing may have taken place 3 to 4 days earlier. The house was found ransacked, with furniture, clothes and cupboards scattered.
আমরা সুষ্ঠু বিচার চাচ্ছি আমরা সরকারের কাছে করো জোরে সব পরিবারের বিচার চাচ্ছি আমার পরিবারে কেউ নেই ওই একটাই ছেলে আমার পক্ষে ওই একটাই বাচ্চা ওকে মেরে ফেলছে আমরা 2 বোন আর এরা 2 ভাই বোন এই ছেলেটাকে মেরে সবাই আমারও 2টা মেয়ে ছেলে এই সে
Police are examining both the possibility of a planned murder and robbery as the motive. The Detective Branch, CID and Crime Scene Unit have joined the investigation while evidence has been collected from the house. While the investigation into the deaths is underway, 2 people have already been arrested for the murder.
Coming up, terror plot foiled. Suspected IED recovered in Chandigarh. 3 held over possible terror plot. Accused allegedly linked to Pakistani-based Khalistani terrorists.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट
अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
Bharatiya Janata Party has accused the Congress of paying social media influencers 25,000 rupees to attend Rahul Gandhi's Chhatron Ki Goonj program in Pune, which is scheduled on August 22nd. The BJP shared a video claiming it shows a phone conversation between a social media influencer with a worker of the Congress party.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Top headlines. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar reaches Moscow. Jaishankar on a crucial 2-day visit to Russia. Meanwhile, NSA Ajit Doval is in Beijing. Doval to hold crucial meet with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Big row erupts after fish served at Congress event in Ayodhya. Controversy over non-vegetarian served during holy month of Sawan. Fire erupts after ventilator explosion in hospital in Maharashtra's Amravati. 3 infants scorched to death. Suspected IED recovered in Chandigarh. 3 held over possible terror plot. Accused allegedly linked to Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorists. Viewers, we're getting you the biggest updates coming in right now on Republic TV. We're getting some breaking news. Nazia Khanam, who's a 30-year-old pregnant assistant section officer in India's Defense Ministry, was found dead by hanging in her Dwarka home in southwest Delhi. So this is an update coming in on Republic TV. This is a very unfortunate incident. A deeply tragic and rather shocking incident has come to life in Dwarka area. And this incident happened after an argument with her husband following a hospital checkup. Police have registered a case of cruelty and abetment to suicide against her husband, Mohammad Azam Ali Khan, who is absconding and in-laws under BNS Section 85-108, while her family alleges continuous dowry harassment, including demands for expensive gifts despite spending over 25 lakh rupees on the April wedding, and physical assault since the arranged marriage, and has demanded an addition of dowry death section. So what we see, viewers, is that the police have registered a case under abetment to suicide charges. The investigation has begun in this case already. So the death has happened under very suspicious circumstances. I want to go straight across to my colleague who's joining us. Ishan is joining us live from New Delhi. Ishan, just take our viewers through what are the police really saying? Because what we know about this death is that it was very suspicious, very mysterious. Now, of course, the police have launched an investigation into this case.
Sector 23 police station in Dwarka has registered a case where allegations of abetment of suicide and the death of a 30-year-old ASO of MOD Nazia Khan was registered. Now, she was found hanging at her rented flat on 21st afternoon of 21st August. She was 3 months pregnant at the time, and she was barely married for around 4 months. Mohammad Azam Khan was the husband, and her father, Twawab Khan, has alleged continuous mental and physical harassment in this case. Now, the husband and in-laws are the center of attention in this, because there are lots of suspicions and there are a lot of facts that do not point. Because the husband claimed that she had locked him in another room and she had locked herself in another room, and then it was with the help of the landlord that she was able to go from, he was able to get inside that room using a balcony. However, police point out that the initial statement recorded before the SDM on the day of the incident contained no allegation of dowry harassment. It is only the next day that the family submitted the entire details. Now, FIR has been registered under Section 85 and Section 108 of BNS, cruelty by husband and relatives, abetment to suicide. And now this is currently, and the husband is now absconding. DCP of Dwarka has confirmed that the investigation is underway and further action will be based on evidence, including the post-mortem report. So the post-mortem report is currently awaited, and the body was taken to the government hospital for conducting of the post-mortem. Now, this entire so far, there has been no statements from the MOD colleague. The family of the victim continues to request for CBI inquiry, but the entire case brings to light that this is a very important, this is a very suspicious death, and that it is not something that can be ruled off as suicide. So currently the investigation is underway and it is at a very critical stage, and we'll await updates from Delhi police. Back to you.
Right. And there have been a lot of reports. In fact, if we could ask a little bit more about this, because like you're saying, it is definitely a mysterious death, suspicious death. So the police are looking at all the angles here. They're not leaving anything to chance. They're trying to investigate every angle because from what we understand, this lady, she was harassed and mentally tortured.
Yes, these are the allegations that have been made out in the police complaint that subsequently led to an FIR. Now, the SDM had recorded an initial statement. However, that statement does not contain the allegations. It is the subsequent police complaint that has been taken, that has the main complaints of harassment and mental torture. She is currently at DDU hospital mortuary for postmortem formalities. Now, the husband, before absconding, claimed that the couple argued after a hospital checkup and she locked him in one room and herself in another room. So this is something that raises some suspicion, because if he was locked inside a room, how was he able to get outside, then go to the landlord and then subsequently back through the balcony into a room? So the account has some discrepancies. The DCP has confirmed that the sequence of the statements has some investigation that required, and once he said that the evidence will be followed and the case will be taken to its logical conclusion. The father, that is Fawab Khan, hails from Bihar, Champaran area. He works as a truck driver. Now, the husband is currently an director at a one of these grocery delivery apps. So all of this is being looked into by the police.
That's right. Okay, Ishant. But thank you for getting us all those details. I'll be coming back to you for more on the story. This is a developing story we're tracking very, very closely on Republic TV. All right, let's move ahead, viewers, to some of the other stories we're tracking. A fire broke out at 3:30 a.m. in the neonatal intensive care unit, NICU, of the Amravati District Women's Hospital in Amravati, Maharashtra, after a ventilator explosion, killing 3 newborn infants who suffered burns. Very unfortunate incident which is coming in. 39 newborns admitted to the ward. Many others were successfully saved as doctors, nurses and staff on duty immediately moved the infants away from the ventilators. So viewers, what we see that it's a very unfortunate incident. 3 newborns have died after a ventilator blast which triggered fire at a Maharashtra hospital. The doctors, nurses and other hospital staff rushed to the ward after the fire broke out and began evacuating the babies. Medical equipment was disconnected and the infants were moved out of the affected area. However, from what we know is that 3 of these newborns have died after the fire broke out. I want to go straight across to my colleague who's joining us, Revati. Revati, I'm coming across to you. The staff did try to evacuate the newborns, but unfortunately 3 newborns could not make it. Now, of course, the investigation would reveal what really caused that blast and fire.
Right. So it's an unfortunate incident in Maharashtra's Amravati district where an NICU caught fire at around 3:30 a.m. and people around got to know at around 4 a.m. and then they started rescuing the babies that were there in the NICU. Around 9 newborns were there and unfortunately 3 lives were lost here. 3 newborn have lost their life, but nurses also saved the other newborns and others were rescued, but 4 newborns have got the burns due to the fire that broke out, and they are currently under medical attention, and also one of them is said to be in critical condition. So also the nurses, while saving the newborns, have got the burn injuries, and they are also under medical treatment at the moment. But as of now, there is no specific reason as to why did this blast happen. But yes, the investigation is underway by the Amravati police. Over to you.
That's right. Also, if you could help our viewers also understand more about what the police is saying. The police reached the site, they are assessing the situation, and they have also gone ahead and said there will be a high-level inquiry in this case because, of course, this is a very dangerous situation, especially when very young children are involved.
Right. Even Minister Chandrasekhar Bavankoe took it to X and he said that a serious probe will be set into this matter. A serious cognizance is also taken by the government of Maharashtra. Also, the newborns who have lost their life, government is with the families of those, and they will help in every way possible. And as I mentioned, that a serious cognizance is taken in this particular matter. Yes, the police and the fire brigade are at the spot, and all the inquiry in the matter will be done. Over to you.
All right, thank you for getting us all those details, Revati. I'll be coming back to you for more. We're getting some more breaking news coming in on Republic TV. Let's move ahead. Fish was served at the Congress event in Ayodhya during the holy month of Sawan and sparked a big controversy. UP Congress Chief Ajay Rai was in Ayodhya on Sunday, where he visited the Ram Janmabhoomi temple and Hanuman Gadi. He also recited the Hanuman Chalisa there. And later at the welcome program in Tarun Bazaar, organized by the Congress leader Ram Nishad, the fish was served. A video of the fish being prepared at the banquet hall has now surfaced online. The BJP has now called it an insult to Sanatan, as Sawan is considered a sacred month for the Hindus. So this is a fresh controversy which has now erupted, coming in from Ayodhya. So those are pictures coming in of that event. What happened was that 2 quintals of fish were prepared for Ajay Rai's Ayodhya visit, sparking a very, very big controversy. There was a fish feast for the Congress chief, leading to a big row in Ayodhya.
अजय राय आजकल लगातार अयोध्या आना जाना कर रहे हैं और आज उन्होंने अयोध्या आया और इस पावन पवित्र श्रावण मास के उपलक्ष्य में हनुमान जी का दर्शन भी किया और उसके बाद उन्होंने जो पाप करने का काम किया है, जो है भगवान भूत भावन के जो है इस पावन पवित्र अवसर पर जिस तरह से उनके स्वागत में मछली भोज का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, अपने आप में दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, निंदनीय है। वही मार्ग कांवड़ यात्रियों की मार्ग है। जिस तरह से इन्होंने सनातन संस्कृति के ऊपर, इस पावनता के ऊपर कुठाराघात करने का जो चेष्टा किया है, इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए उतना कम है।
All right, so with those reactions coming in, we'll try to get some more reactions. So the big row breaking out in Ayodhya after a fish feast was organized as part of a welcome program for UP Congress Chief Ajay Rai. And many have objected, many religious figures, like we just heard right now, have objected to the food arrangement during the holy month of Sawan. What we see right now is that Rai was in Ayodhya and began his visit with prayers at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple. Then at the end, he was welcomed with a big program. But in that program, if you can see that fish was being served. Now, the program was attended by many others, but the big point we're trying to make is that the fish which was being served has now created a big controversy. The video you can see on your screen showing people are collecting fish at the venue as heavy rain is lashing the area, disrupting both the welcome event and preparations for the feast. The fish feast has drawn objections because they say that a lot of figures, religious figures specifically, are saying that the timing was completely inappropriate because the month of Sawan is very important for Hindus. It has a lot of religious significance.
अजय राय आजकल लगातार अयोध्या आना जाना कर रहे हैं और आज उन्होंने अयोध्या आया और इस पावन पवित्र श्रावण मास के उपलक्ष्य में हनुमान जी का दर्शन भी किया और उसके बाद उन्होंने जो पाप करने का काम किया है, जो है भगवान भूत भावन के जो है इस पावन पवित्र अवसर पर जिस तरह से उनके स्वागत में मछली भोज का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, अपने आप में दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, निंदनीय है। वही मार्ग कांवड़ यात्रियों की मार्ग है जिस तरह से इन्होंने सनातन संस्कृति के ऊपर, इस पावनता के ऊपर कुठाराघात करने का जो चेष्टा किया है, इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए उतना कम है।
So viewers, those are pictures coming in from that event where the fish was served. Controversies erupted in Ayodhya over a fish feast organized during a welcome program for the UP Congress chief Ajay Rai, with many objecting to the food arrangement during the holy month of Sawan. It's a holy month of Sawan. It has a lot of religious significance, especially for the Hindus. So this incident has definitely kicked up a big storm there. And we will, of course, try to get more reactions on the story. But the UP Congress chief Rai was in Ayodhya. He visited the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple and then Hanuman Gari before attending the welcome program for him. Now, after this, the video that you see on your screen, these videos have gone viral. You can see that fish is being prepared at the banquet hall where a welcome program is organized for Rai. Okay, let's move ahead, viewers. We're getting some more breaking news coming in. Let's move ahead. Tension has gripped Mazgaon in Mumbai after allegations that eggs were thrown at a Ganesh idol during its arrival procession. The incident allegedly took place yesterday evening when the Mandal was bringing the idol. Okay, so big updates coming in, viewers. Now, unidentified individuals reportedly threw eggs from a building, following which a large crowd gathered at the spot. Additional police forces were deployed and senior officers reached the site. The crowd demanded immediate arrest of the accused and allegedly pelted stones at the building. Police pacified the crowd and cleared the area. The situation is now said to be peaceful. So back-to-back updates coming in on Republic TV, viewers. And those are pictures coming in of that incident which has occurred. So this incident has happened in Mumbai, and a lot of tension because after allegations that eggs were thrown at a Ganesh idol during its arrival procession, and this has led to a lot of tension in that area. Okay, so the police had to pacify the crowd. I want to go across to Revati. Revati, the police had to pacify the crowd. The situation is now peaceful, but of course, this incident did lead to a lot of tensions in Mumbai.
Mumbai has begun as the Ganpati festival is around the corner, and during these arrival processions, this particular incident has happened where eggs were thrown at Ganesh idol, and this has caused a pretty much tensed situation in Mumbai because people from a building in Mazgaon were throwing eggs at Ganesh idol, and this caused a heated and tense atmosphere in Mazgaon. As of now, the police have intervened in the matter and it is said to be peaceful. But the people there who were present at the arrival procession are demanding that they should be arrested. So as of now, the police are investigating the matter. There are no updates from the police whether an FIR is registered or no. But yes, the people are demanding that an FIR shall be registered and they shall be arrested as they have demeaned and insulted their deity. Over to you.
All right, thank you, Revati, for getting us all those details. I'm coming back to you for more on the story. Let's move ahead, viewers. A massive fire broke out at a warehouse in Russia's St. Petersburg on Sunday, with flames engulfing an area of around 82,000 square meters. Take a look at this report as we tell you more.
A massive warehouse fire erupted in St. Petersburg on Sunday, sending thick flames through the industrial facility as firefighters rushed to contain the blaze. Russia's emergency minister said the affected areas stretched across 82,000 square meters, while the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters. The facility was being used to store paper and polymer materials, creating a particularly difficult challenge for firefighters battling the intense flames. Emergency officials warned that the heat, flying sparks and burning fragments from the materials could allow the fire to spread further. Fire crews continued operations around the warehouse as officers coordinated the firefighting response and worked to prevent the blaze from extending to nearby areas.
And viewers, getting you some big update coming in right now. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has now arrived in Moscow, where he was welcomed by the Indian Ambassador Vinay Kumar and Russian MFA official as well. He will co-chair the 27th India-Russia Trade and Economic Commission with meetings with President Vladimir Putin and Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov also expected. So back-to-back updates coming in, viewers on Republic TV. Dr. Jaishankar arrived in Moscow on a two-day official visit to Russia. He's visiting Russia at the invitation of the first Deputy Prime Minister of Russia Federation. India and Russia have a long-standing and time-tested partnership, which will, of course, deepen now after Jaishankar's visit. Chandrakala will tell us more. Chandrakala, what can we expect now in the next 2 days?
Well, in fact, a very busy week of diplomacy, beginning with the External Affairs Minister visit to Moscow. He has already arrived in Moscow. We have seen the Indian ambassador to Russia welcoming him, and also he is slated to meet President Vladimir Putin as he is all set to visit New Delhi for the BRICS summit, and also the fact that External Affairs Minister will be holding the 27th India-Russia Inter-Governmental Commission on Economic and Trade with Deputy Prime Minister, and the fact that he'll also be meeting the Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov. This visit comes amid a very, very crucial time when New Delhi is managing acute trade deficit with Western pressure on New Delhi buying Russian oil. So yes, very, very crucial visit, and various bilateral mechanism and bilateral cooperation will be discussed between both the leaders. He will be meeting Vladimir Putin as well as Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov. This particular visit also lays the groundwork for the upcoming visit of Vladimir Putin for the BRICS summit in New Delhi next month in September. Over to you.
That's right, Chandrakala. Hold on for a second. We're getting some more breaking news coming in. Indian National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is also on his way to Beijing for the 25th round of India-China Special Representative talk on the boundary dispute. He is to meet Chinese Foreign Minister and counterpart Wang Yi to discuss peace along the line of actual control ahead of the upcoming BRICS summit. So back-to-back updates coming in, viewers, on Republic TV. And to tell us more, we'll try to go back to Chandrakala, because what would be the agenda of this meeting? So we understand that India-China ties definitely back in focus, especially we see that India-China ties are important, and hopefully border at the peace would be the center of the discussion as well. For more, Chandrakala, over to you. What can we expect?
Yes, as I've already mentioned that it's a very busy week of diplomacy. Now the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has arrived in China. He is for the special representative meeting on boundary issue, and this will be the 24th meeting between the leaders of special representatives on border mechanism. He will be meeting Wang Yi, for that matter, also coming at a very crucial time when President Xi is expected to visit for the BRICS summit here in New Delhi next month. Of course, the fact that earlier we have seen that in August 2025, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi holding a meeting in the backdrop of the SCO summit. And now this, of course, comes at a very crucial time when, a recent face-off is happening in Arunachal Pradesh between India and China. So yes, this visit by NSA is very crucial. This will be the 24th round of talk. Now we know that both the countries are cooperating in solving the border issues. Of course, earlier we have seen that although both the sides have resumed flights and visa for Chinese nationals and Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, but there is no breakthrough as far as the standoff is concerned. So yes, this particular meeting is very much focused on resolving the remaining border issues. This is the 24th meeting on boundary mechanism. So yes, this visit is very crucial. Also, it will various. He is also slated to meet Wang Yi, and President Xi is expected to visit for the BRICS summit, where various issues related to the boundary border issues and other regional and global issues will be discussed. Over
all right, thank you for getting us all those details, Chandrakala. I'll be coming back to you for more on this big story we're tracking. All right, let's move ahead, viewers, to some of the other stories coming in. A torch rally was held by the women of the Korai Apumba Club in Manipur. They are demanding the implementation and the updating of the National Register of Citizens before the upcoming census exercise. Take a look.
Around 2,000 women staged a massive torch rally in Keshampat's Junction in Manipur. The protesters demanded NRC before the census exercise in the state. The rally was organized as part of the campaign for just and fair delimitation exercise. The campaign has been underway in the state for nearly 1.5 years, as the participants allege that illegal foreigners have now occupied Manipur. The protesters raised slogans including "No NRC, no IDP settlement until census." Manipur has been witnessing such massive rallies since August 3rd, with participation now growing on the ground. Protesters have now vowed to continue their agitation until they receive a response from the Manipur government.
And taking a short break, viewers, do not go anywhere. Row erupts after fish served at Congress event in Ayodhya. Controversy over non-veg served during the holy month of Sawan. Stay tuned.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे रंग 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 बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे।
इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े।
Welcome back, viewers. In a shocking news from Maharashtra, a massive fire broke out in the newborn ward of the Amravati District Women's Hospital in Maharashtra. 3 newborn infants died after suffering burns in the fire. Take a look.
A massive fire broke out in the newborn ward of Amravati District Women's Hospital, triggering panic in the neonatal intensive care unit, where dozens of newborn babies were undergoing treatment. The fire in the neonatal intensive care unit was triggered by an explosion in one of the ventilators at around 3:30 a.m. This led to the death of 3 infants who succumbed after suffering severe burn injuries in the blaze. There were about 39 newborns admitted to the ward. As soon as the fire broke out, the nurses on the duty immediately moved the infants away from the ventilators. About 36 infants were successfully saved during the incident.
And in a short break, viewers, do not go anywhere. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has reached Moscow. Jaishankar on a crucial two-day visit to Russia. Stay tuned.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना। सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस। ट्रायल लूंगा। श्योर। वाटर रेजिस्टेंट है, स्ट्रॉन्ग है, high density wood fiber structure, advanced German adhesive bonding, solid defense. ट्रायल में पास। सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar reaches Moscow. Jaishankar on a crucial two-day visit to Russia. Meanwhile, NSA Ajit Doval is in Beijing. Doval to hold crucial meet with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Row erupts after fish served at a Congress event in Ayodhya. Controversy over non-veg served during holy month of Sawan. Fire erupts after ventilator explosion in a hospital in Maharashtra's Amravati. 3 infants scorched to death. Suspected ID recovered in Chandigarh. 3 held over possible terror plot. Accused allegedly linked to Pakistan-based Khalistani terrorists. All right, viewers, good morning. Welcome to Live and Breaking with me, Karun Seth on Republic. Starting with our first story, Gurdeep Singh, a 28-year-old man from Jabowal village in Punjab's Kapurthala district, was shot dead on Friday night, which is on August 21st in Brooklyn's East New York, while delivering pizza on his moped. Now, he was found with multiple gunshot wounds near Crescent Street and Stanley Avenue after an altercation, possibly robbery or road rage, with the suspect fleeing in a vehicle and no arrest made yet, while his debt-ridden family, who had borrowed around rupees 30 lakhs to send him to the US about a decade ago, seeks help to repatriate his body. Shocking news coming in from the US now, from specifically New York, where a Sikh man has been found dead. He was shot while delivering pizza in New York City. We suspect that it was a case of robbery, and the family of the Punjab-based man is now requesting and seeking authorities to repatriate his body. He was, remember, on his way to deliver pizza in New York while he was found dead. Now, it is suspected the specific location was Brooklyn's East New York. He was delivering pizza on his moped when he was found with multiple gunshot wounds near Crescent Street and Stanley Avenue. Now, this is after an altercation broke out with the suspect fleeing in a vehicle, and surprisingly, no arrests have been made yet. His family, unfortunately, which is debt-ridden, who had actually borrowed about 30 lakhs to send him to the US about a decade ago. So he's been in the US for over 10 years now. Is now seeking help to repatriate his body. Now, he was on his way to deliver pizza on his moped. This is when an altercation broke out where the suspect has now fled. No arrests have been made, and apparently it was possibly an armed robbery or a case of road rage, because we know for sure that an altercation did break out, and which led to suspected gunshot wounds, and his body was recovered. Now his family, unfortunately, which is in debt, has been seeking help to repatriate his body. The victim has been identified as Gurdeep Singh. He was originally from Jabowal village in Punjab. We've got Chandrakala live on this. Chandrakala, unfortunate story coming in. Do we have more details about what led to the altercation? What was the exact reason? Was it a case of road rage? Was it a case of armed robbery? And what about the whereabouts of the suspect? Because we hear no arrests have been made yet.
Well, a very, very shocking incident. Yet another incident coming in from US. Of course, now the fact that this particular victim, Gurdeep Singh, he passed away in the untimely incident, prompting the Consulate General of India in New York to reach out to the bereaved family. Of course, he has lost his life following a shooting incident in Brooklyn, New York. Now, what we're learning is that we have seen a detailed, tweet coming in from the Indian Consulate in New York that expressing grief to over the untimely demise of Gurdeep Singh, an Indian national who actually lost his life in a shooting incident in Brooklyn. Now, the fact that the authorities is in touch with the family members and providing all kind of assistance, of course, as far as the repatriation of his body is concerned. Of course, India, the Ministry of External Affairs has got in touch with the concerned authorities. There is still an official statement expected as to what could be the next step, because a very, very unfortunate incident. In fact, meanwhile, what we are learning at this moment is that law enforcement authorities in New York have initiated a probe into the last night altercation in the East New York neighborhood, though no suspects have been taken into custody yet, and the motive behind the incident remains to be determined. This is what we are latest learning, and what we are learning is that as far as the detail of the incident is concerned, Singh, who lived in Queens, sustained fatal gunshot injuries at approximately 10 p.m. local time on Friday, close to Stanley Avenue. Police officers immediately arrived at the scene, discovered an individual bearing a gunshot wound to his chest, after which emergency responders rushed him to a medical facility where doctors declared him dead. A very, very tragic incident. In fact, we have seen such incident coming over the, multiple such incidents has been reported from various parts of the US, be it New York or from, other parts of the country. The fact that this is another such incident, and more details awaited as far as the investigation is concerned, as far as what could be the next step as far as his repatriating the body of this individual is concerned, because the consulate there in New York has already reached out to the family. All possible assistance has been provided to them, and we'll have to wait and watch what is the next an official statement is expected from the Ministry of External Affairs as far as coordinating with the authorities and taking action on this matter is concerned. Over to you.
All right. Thanks, Chandrakala, for giving us more details on this. We hope that they're able to get the body back, and hope that the suspect is brought to the book. Now, here's another breaking news coming in from Jharkhand now. The Jharkhand students have launched yet another mega campaign for jobs now. The Nyaya Yatra is what they call it. The recruitment system reform Yatra will cover 24 districts starting today, which is August 24th, over alleged irregularities in JPSC and JSSC recruitment. Now, the Yatra will begin at 11 a.m. from Shiu Soren's ancestral village Nemra at Lukiatan, with tributes to Jharkhand's martyrs, traditional rituals by a Pahan, and planting of a Sakua sapling. Now, student leader Devendra Mato said the Yatra is for corruption-free recruitment and will be a pivotal struggle to secure justice for students. Now, this comes on the back of the ongoing protests in Jharkhand against the JPSC and JSSC exams, post which you saw the Hemant Soren government cancelling all the 22 exams. We had a 26-day-long protest by the students in which we also saw some brutal crackdown on the students. Now they've launched a Yatra specifically, which they call the Nyaya Yatra, which is aimed at the recruitment system reforms. It covers all 24 districts starting today, and they hope that it will become, they will get justice and get a corruption-free recruitment system, which they feel is pivotal in their struggle to secure justice for students.
लगातार संघर्ष कर रहे हैं भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भर्ती अभियान के तहत। अब हम लोग इस आंदोलन को आगे एक महत्वपूर्ण नए चरण का ऐलान किए हैं। आगामी 24 अगस्त 2026 से भर्ती व्यवस्था सुधार यात्रा जो 24 जिलों में होगी, जिसका हम लोग पूर्व में ही सूचना दे चुके हैं, लेकिन पूरे झारखंड प्रदेश के आम आवाम इस बात से के इंतजार में है कि कब कौन सा जिला पे कब ये यात्रा पहुंचेगी। और पूरे झारखंड के छात्र इस यात्रा से बहुत ही उत्सुक हैं और यह यात्रा से बहुत ही विश्वास है, उम्मीद है कि छात्रों को न्याय मिलेगा और यह संघर्ष एक महत्वपूर्ण संघर्ष साबित होगी।
Now, viewers, another breaking news coming in from Nagpur now. A chlorine gas leak at the Godani Nagar Panchayat's water purification plant in Nagpur hospitalized about 20 to 40 people, including plant employers and nearby residents who suffered breathing difficulties, with 3 to 5 admitted to the ICU at Max Care Hospital. 10 have later been discharged. The fire brigade, police and NDRF teams responded, evacuating residents, declaring 100-meter no-entry zone and working to clear the gas while advising the public against rumours. Now, this news is specifically coming in from Nagpur. We hear that about 20 to 40 people were injured. They suffered, this included plant employees, nearby residents who suffered breathing difficulties, with 3 to 5 even admitted to the ICU there. Now, the fire brigade, police and NDRF teams have responded. Now, this resulted from a chlorine gas leak at one of the Nagar Panchayat's water purification plants in Nagpur. Now, 20 to 40 people have been hospitalized. We hear, they work now, police have actually declared 100-meter no-entry zone and now working to clear the gas while advising residents to not come near the area. Let's look at let's look at visuals coming in from the NDRF officials from Nagpur.
फंसे हुए थे, उनको बाहर निकालना शुरू की। उसके बाद बैरिकेडिंग लगाएं। हमें भी सूचना मिला, हमसे पहले हमारे फायर डिपार्टमेंट को मिला सूचना। फायर सबसे पहले यहाँ पे पहुंची और अपनी कार्रवाई शुरू की। उसके बाद मुझे पता चला, यानी एनडीआरएफ, डिस, OCW, ये सारी टीमों को जब पता चला, सारी टीमें बिल्कुल त्वरित गति से यहाँ पे पहुंचे और ऑपरेशन में जुट गए। सारे लोगों के कोऑपरेशन से, कोऑर्डिनेशन से ये ऑपरेशन सफल हुआ और अभी वर्तमान में स्थिति सामान्य है। किसी भी प्रकार का कोई हताहत नहीं हुआ है। कुछ लोग को सांस लेने में दिक्कत हुई थी, जिन्हें हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट कराया गया। कुछ लोग वहां से डिस्चार्ज हो गए। अभी भी 20 की संख्या में शायद हॉस्पिटल में हैं।
All right, viewers, stay tuned. Moving on to national news now, making waves across Bharat to our Bharat in One news segment. At least 6 people, including 2 MLAs from Karnataka, were injured after a hatchback crossed a road divider and crashed into an SUV. The 2 MLAs were travelling in the SUV when the crash occurred. All those injured sustained minor injuries and were taken to Lok Nayak Hospital, police have said. The injured are said to be in a stable condition. Further investigation into the incident is currently underway. More than 40 people were hospitalized after a chlorine gas leak occurred at the water filtration plant premises. Several people reported breathing difficulties while officials are working to bring the situation under control. Efforts are also underway to contain the gas leak and safely evacuate those affected. Flash floods and severe waterlogging have been reported in several areas of Agartala following heavy rainfall. NDRF officials stated that they've rescued 25 people so far, including a pregnant woman, and added that they're fully prepared to carry out any rescue operation. Now, viewers, Beijing is hosting the second World Humanoid Robot Games. It's a 5-day showcase where thousands of human-shaped machines are racing, jumping, and even performing Tai Chi. The event tests speed, balance, and dexterity, bringing together teams from over a dozen countries to compete in dozens of sports and real-world skill challenges. On opening night, robots were seen completing the 100-meter dash faster than even Usain Bolt's human world record. This while traditional Chinese disciplines like Tai Chi put their control and grace to the test. The spectacle offers a glimpse into how quickly humanoid robotics is moving from labs to now athletic arenas. Have a look at videos from the humanoid event.
120人协同行进提供了关键基础支撑。发令枪响，选手们的起跑都不错，哇，一气巡城。我们看看最领先锋线的是，他的成绩是52度的9秒58，第1名来自天卓队，他把目光锁定在跳高赛场上。出马，上来，哇，上去了！漂亮！来，我们来，1、2、3，哇，C 罗的动作，对，这是
他带孩子来看看，这是中国目前最好的机器人是什么样子的，然后就是带他去看，了解现在这个机器人的能力。
发令枪响，选手们的起跑都不错，哇，一气巡城。
红方选手脚下的动作非常的灵活。哇！这是刚才和小龙学的旋风踢法。
走，看看 Smash 该如何应对呢？还能够细微的调整脚下的步伐，也很灵活嘛。哇，两人打了得有20个回合了，大家觉得他们的表现怎么样？让他们听听你们的掌声好不好？行云流水。
在这里的枪声。
我把那个3脚架给他立出来。
对人类来说，这种运动开发常见真的来说，有机器人能做到，甚至那个慢慢改进的。
所以我刚开始确实不怎么接受 AI 这个东西，甚至有一点排斥，觉得它可能替代了，或者说是取代了一部分的那个人的东西。但现在我觉得势不可挡啊。
40秒9完赛，观众朋友们把掌声送给我们天国的机器人。用全自主的方式参加比赛，那这种全自主的方式是不是本身就？40秒9完赛，观众朋友们把掌声送给我们天国的机器人。所以这两个机器人啊，是一个。两位一个滑雪场上演在一起的，所以今天可能天气比较热，两位运动员都比较。同动力队的运动员，其中的都是动作越来越多，得到新的成绩，参考成绩完成比赛。
Viewers, another breaking news coming in from Gujarat now, where a pregnant woman alleges repeated rape, forced conversion, and sexual assault. Now, the woman has claimed sexual assault, blackmail, and physical abuse. The FIR names 3 brothers and their uncle as the accused. The woman alleges that forced nikah, name change and religious conversion was attempted and done in this case. Now, shocking case has emerged from Gujarat's Banaskantha district. This is from a 5-month pregnant woman who's alleged repeated rape, assault, blackmail and forced religious conversion by 4 men. According to the FIR, the accused are 3 brothers and their uncle. The woman has alleged that she was sexually assaulted multiple times, beaten even during pregnancy, and blackmailed during a private video, using a private video with threats to circulate it on social media. She's also alleged forced religious conversion, claiming that a cleric was brought to forcibly perform nikah after giving her a spiked drink and her name was changed to Fiza. Police have registered a case and investigation is underway. Now, another shocking incident of forced conversion coming into the light, repeated on the lines after Republic has repeatedly exposed such incidents. Remember, earlier it was the case of Christian missionaries. Now it's a Muslim cleric who's been involved, where a woman from Gujarat has claimed this particular FIR. We've got the report next on this. Now, another news coming in, a massive fire broke out at a warehouse in Russia, St. Petersburg on Sunday, with flames engulfing an area of around 82,000 square meters. The warehouse itself covered about 22,000 square meters and stored paper and polymer materials. Now, firefighters battled the blaze as authorities warned of the risk of further spread. Here's the full report coming in from St. Petersburg, Russia.
A massive warehouse fire erupted in St. Petersburg on Sunday, sending thick flames through the industrial facility as firefighters rushed to contain the blaze. Russia's emergency minister said the affected areas stretched across 82,000 square meters, while the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters. The facility was being used to store paper and polymer materials, creating a particularly difficult challenge for firefighters battling the intense flames. Emergency officials warned that the heat, flying sparks and burning fragments from the materials could allow the fire to spread further. Fire crews continued operations around the warehouse as officers coordinated the firefighting response and worked to prevent the blaze from extending to nearby areas.
Now, viewers, following on our earlier story regarding Lashkar's terror threat for Kashmiri Pandits, the Lashkar offshoot targets Kashmiri Pandits. Lashkar's fresh terror threat to Pandits, where Lashkar offshoot threatens Kashmiri Pandits and threatens them in Kashmir. Now, this is following the United Liberation Council, which, according to Indian intelligence sources, is a front of the banned Lashkar-e-Taiba organization, following their threat letter targeting Kashmiri Pandit government officials in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the group claimed to possess details about their families, workplaces and locations, and warned that they could be targeted even if they relocate to Jammu. Now, what makes this a serious escalation is that the communication has named 6 Kashmiri Pandit government employees, including officials in the revenue department. The letter threatened the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, the Director General of Police and officials in New Delhi. Now, remember, this is a blog linked to the Resistance Front, which is a TRF, as we call it, is an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba, banned terrorist organization, which has published a hit list of Kashmiri Pandit employees along with their contact numbers. Gursimran is joining us live from Jammu. Gursimran, unfortunate continuous news coming in. Again, a case of Kashmiri Pandits being targeted by a Lashkar-e-Taiba offshoot organization. What do we know more about how they got these details? What do they plan to do? What is the exact threat that they've made here with respect to these Kashmiri Pandits? And what are the agencies doing about this?
See, if we speak of the agencies, first agencies are looking into this letters, a series of letters, because it's been 2 letters in a month. So, though both the letters have come in the month of August and they warned the Kashmiri Pandits of the dire consequences, this letter has gone ahead and has termed Kashmiri Pandits as the white-collar terrorists and has labelled them as the traitors. This is the usual modus operandi of the terror group, that is first to label an individual as the informer of the security agencies and then to kill them. This has happened in the past, starting from 1990s, since the start of the terrorism. even a couple of years back when we saw the Kashmiri Pandits being killed in the Kashmir Valley, minorities being killed in the Kashmir Valley, and all they were, what was labeled on them, that they were working for the agencies. So this is a usual modus operandi that the terror groups actually go by, and that is why the agencies are taking it very seriously. Now, earlier a list that came, the threat letter that came had few names. This also has 6 names, all from working in Kashmir. Basically, those who have migrated to Jammu, they are on the hit list of this terror group. This is a United Liberation Council, which is one of the offshoots of Lashkar-e-Toiba and the Resistance Front. This is being operated from the Pakistan by the one of the dreaded terrorists, Sajid Jatt, who is the one of the masterminds of the Pahalgam terror attack as well. Now coming to the agencies' action, we are told that the agencies have taken the cognizance of this threat letter that has been issued by the terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba, and they are taking the utmost precautions that they can take to avert any kind of threat. Now coming to how they got access to these
this
names.
news, unfortunate threat against Kashmiri Pandits. No public statements from Mehbooba Mufti or Omar Abdullah coming in recently, who otherwise are very vocal about every issue that concerns people of Jammu and Kashmir. All right, we'll break for a time for a short break now, viewers, but don't go anywhere. Coming up, NSA Ajit Doval en route Beijing. Doval to hold crucial border talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to Rs 300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
सच बेरो
A massive warehouse fire erupted in St. Petersburg on Sunday, sending thick flames through the industrial facility as firefighters rushed to contain the blaze. Russia's emergency minister said the affected areas stretched across 82,000 square meters, while the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters. The facility was being used to store paper and polymer materials, creating a particularly difficult challenge for firefighters battling the intense flames. Emergency officials warned that the heat, flying sparks and burning fragments from the materials could allow the fire to spread further. Fire crews continued operations around the warehouse as officers coordinated the firefighting response and worked to prevent the blaze from extending to nearby areas.
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस ट्रायल लूंगा श्योर वाटर रेजिस्टेंट है स्ट्रॉन्ग है हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग सॉलिड डिफेंस ट्रायल में पास सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra. Now today we'll talk about how NSA Ajit Doval is on a crucial visit to China with border talks on the cards with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Now the timing is crucial here as the visit comes just ahead of Xi Jinping's visit to New Delhi for the crucial BRICS summit. We'll tell you all about that, but first up a quick check at the top headlines we're tracking at this hour. Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. Woman found hanging at Dwarka home in Delhi. Victim's family alleges dowry torture. Clashes break out after eggs sold at Ganesh idol procession in Mumbai. Heavy police deployed at the site. Three newborn babies killed as fire engulfs NICU in Maharashtra's Amravati District Women Hospital. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar reaches Moscow. Jaishankar on a crucial two-day visit to Russia. NSA Ajit Doval in Beijing to hold crucial border talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. All right, viewers, our top focus at this hour, a concerning story has come to light involving Nazia Khanam, a 30-year-old pregnant woman who was found dead at her Dwarka home. Now, we're getting to understand that the family has alleged a case of dowry death in this incident. They're saying that the harassment began from the first month of marriage. Remember, they've only been married for about 4 months. And now we understand that the woman was found hanging and she was about 3 months pregnant. She was serving as an assistant section officer in India's Defence Ministry and she was found dead by hanging in a Dwarka home in southwest Delhi. Now, this comes in as the police have now registered a case of cruelty and abetment to suicide against her husband, Mohammad Azam Ali Khan, who's still absconding, and in-laws as well. Different sections have now been invoked of BNS, including 85 and 108 in the FIR that's now been registered in the case. Now, viewers, the family alleges continuous dowry harassment, including demands for expensive gifts, despite spending over rupees 25 lakh on the lavish wedding in April. In fact, allegations of physical assault since the marriage was arranged have also now come to light from the family's side. So this coming in as the investigation still continuing in this case. All right, my colleague Ishan also joining us with more details on this. Ishan, please take us through the details which have come to light. We understand that Section 85 and 108 have now been invoked in FIR, linking this to cruelty charges and abetment to suicide as well.
Absolutely. Now, the sections that have been invoked basis on the father's complaint. Now, the father has alleged that the entire crime scene was staged and that her daughter would not have committed suicide, and she also has been alleging that she was mentally and physically harassed for dowry in the preceding month. Now, the person who has, the lady who has committed suicide, the victim was working as a section officer in the Ministry of Defense, and her father comes from a meager background. He is a truck driver. But the husband was a very influential, very powerful man. He is posted as a director in a quick commerce company and was working there. So after the marriage, The father alleges that a lot of torture and a lot of pressure was being made out for dowry and demands were being made. However, because he could not fulfill those demands, his daughter was being tortured constantly and was put under a lot of mental pressure. The DCP, after receiving the complaint, has investigated the matter and an FIR has now been registered. Now, currently the body is undergoing post-mortem, and once the post-mortem report comes, the exact cause of death would be ascertained. Now, the father has been claiming that the entire crime scene has been staged by the husband, and the husband's account of events, that is that he was first locked inside a room, and thereafter the Nadia was in another room and then locked herself in the other room. And after locking herself in the other room, he had to take the help of the landlord to break in through the balcony. So the account that the husband has provided does not satisfy the case, and therefore the FIR has now been registered and is being investigated. Back to you, Ishita.
All right. Thanks, Ishan, for joining us and getting us all the details on this. Keep tracking all the legal updates which are coming to light, and we'll keep coming back to you. For now, thanks so much. Now, yes, another brutal murder has come to light from Kurukshetra in Haryana. In this case, a man identified as Rajesh, 40-year-old, was found murdered in a house near Raj Palace. Now, according to police, his wife, Vimla Devi, allegedly attacked him with a knife and slashing his abdomen open. Shocking details have now emerged during the post-mortem as well, which revealed that deep stab injuries were found all over the victim's body. Police said some internal organs were also found missing and intestines had been spilled out. Now, the landlord Rinku said he heard shouting around about 5 p.m. and rushed to the roof, where he found Rajesh lying in a pool of blood. The woman allegedly also trying to put the organs in a sack. On seeing this, the landlord panicked and then she jumped off the roof. She was injured in the entire incident. The deceased, a native of Sitapur in UP, had been living on rent in Kurukshetra for about a year and worked for a water trading company. Police investigation is currently underway in the case.
जब पुलिस मौके पर गई थी, जब पुलिस ने मौके पर जाकर देखा कि एक लहूलुहान अवस्था में एक राजेश नाम का व्यक्ति पड़ा हुआ है, और जब उसको पुलिस के द्वारा चेक किया गया तो मृत अवस्था में पाया गया। और फिर जब पुलिस ने इसमें गहनता से जांच की तो पता चला कि इसकी पत्नी ने इसका मर्डर कर दिया था, और वह पत्नी छत से कूद गई थी। छत से कूदने के कारण उसको भी काफी चोट आई थी, जिसको हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट करवाया हुआ है और अभी वह उपचाराधीन है।
All right. In fact, my colleague Lalit now joining us with more details on this. Lalit, very shocking details have now been revealed in the post-mortem. Some internal organs were missing. Even the intestine was missing when the post-mortem was conducted. So what are we fetching at the latest on this entire murder case so far?
If we talk about this whole shocking murder which has been reported in Kurukshetra's Pewa, 40-year-old Rajesh has been killed by his wife named Vimla Devi. The landlord Rinku, when heard the fight and the quarrel, after went into the roof and found the Rajesh into the of pool, and after that, when he alerted, the Vimla Devi jumped from the roof. As per the latest inputs, Vimla Devi has been admitted into the hospital and she has been arrested by the Kurukshetra police. But apart from that, what it has been found in the post-mortem report that the abdomen and the intestines have been slashed. Apart from that, some organs were also found missing. It has been said that the organs were being tried to pack in the sack of a jute bag. So these are the reports which are being coming. But yes, a very gruesome and a very shocking incident has been reported in Kurukshetra's Pewa. Back.
Very, gory details now coming to light. For now, thanks so much, Lalit, for joining us and getting us the details on this. And now we are shifting focus to another story that we're tracking at this hour. Kashmiri Pandits working in the valley have now received a fresh threat coming in from Lashkar of Shoot. It's a letter that's now been issued by a terror outfit. This comes in as the United Liberation Council has now issued a fresh threat. The letter here names around 6 Kashmiri Pandits and contains even details of their residences, including their house numbers and street numbers as well. Now, viewers, in the letter, the terror group has now termed them as white-collar terrorists and traitors, while they claim that they are being monitored as well. This is the second such threat letter that has come in from ULC in a month, targeting Kashmiri Pandits in the valley. So, second time that they have now received a terror letter from Lashkar outfit. In fact, my colleague Gursimran also joining us with more details on this. Gursimran, this is the second time that Kashmiri Pandits have now received a terror threat letter coming in from a Lashkar outfit, and this time it goes a step ahead. They've named them, they've named their residences, giving details of even the streets that they're living in. So this is very concerning.
Yes, if we speak of, this is a usual pattern that the terror groups follow, because first label the individual as the informer of the agencies, as the traitors, and then kill them. This has been for their modus operandi since 1990s, because every minority person that has been killed in a valley was first labeled as the traitor and then he was killed. So that is why the security agencies are taking the series of letters, 2 letters that have been issued by the terror group Lashkar's offshoot United Liberation Council as serious, and they are working so as to look at who is behind this, because the details, the minute details of the government officials, their mobile phone numbers, their house address in Jammu, everything has been given to them. So who are the organ workers that are working on the behest of Lashkar and their offshoots that are also being identified by the security agencies? But as a precautionary measure, all steps are being taken so that these kind of threats can be actually averted. Reason being that the Kashmiri Pandits, they are though less in number in the Kashmir Valley, but any threat to them will mean that the security apparatus has failed, or there is a major challenge to the security apparatus. And reason being that last month we have witnessed first Head Constable Ashik Hussain from the Anantnag police. He was killed by the terrorists, and then followed by the 2 civilians that have been killed in a brutal terror attack that has taken place in the Kulgam area. They were non-locals. They were targeted by the terrorists, which means that the terrorists have once again got a green signal from their top brass in Pakistan to go and carry out the targeted killings. And now the security forces are leaving no stone unturned to go behind these letters, who are issuing them, and what is the modus operandi of the Pakistani terror groups, so as they are planning to target the Kashmiri Pandits. What are their plans so that these plans can be foiled well within time?
He's working to counter such threats coming in from terror outfits. Thanks, Gursimran, for joining us and getting us the latest on this. Now, viewers, in a shocking news coming to light from Maharashtra, a massive fire broke out in the newborn ward of Amravati District Women's Hospital in Maharashtra. And in this case, unfortunately, 3 newborn infants were killed after suffering severe burn injuries in this fire incident. The fire, we understand, was triggered by an explosion at a ventilator. Several other infants were safely rescued during the entire incident. 6 have now been shifted to other hospitals and they remain critical at the moment. Here's the full report. Take a look. A massive fire broke out in the newborn ward of Amravati District Women's Hospital, triggering panic in the neonatal intensive care unit, where dozens of newborn babies were undergoing treatment. The fire in the neonatal intensive care unit was triggered by an explosion in one of the ventilators at around 3:30 a.m. This led to the death of 3 infants who succumbed after suffering severe burn injuries in the blaze. There were about 39 newborns admitted to the ward. As soon as the fire broke out, the nurses on the duty immediately moved the infants away from the ventilators. About 36 infants were successfully saved during the incident. And now, viewers, in a major development coming to light from Tamil Nadu, the government has now reportedly scrapped the Parandur airport plan completely. Instead, the existing Chennai airport will now be expanded with the new Terminal 3 and Terminal 5 as well. The government, in fact, has now decided to drop the Greenfield Airport project at Parandur and focused instead on expanding the current Chennai airports. That's a big decision coming in from the government in Tamil Nadu. Vijay government, in fact, now completely scrapping the Parandur airport project, while instead now focusing on the expansion of the current Chennai airport. So big decision being taken in terms of infrastructure by Vijay government as Terminal 3 and 5 will now be expanded at the Chennai airport. In fact, my colleague Sharda also joining us with more details on this. Now, Sharda, we understand that Vijay government has taken a decision to completely now scrap the idea of Parandur airport, and instead they will be focusing now on expanding the current Chennai airport.
Well, under Section 110 today, Vijay announced that the Parandur airport was announced during the DMK regime is completely scrapped and cancelled, and stated that the Terminal 3 and the Terminal 5 of the Chennai existing airport will be developed for the same. He pointed out, telling that the 12 villages around the Parandur area will be demolished if Parandur airport comes there, and pointed out, telling that the previous government did not take into account of that particular 12 villages, making sure that there's no environmental damages for these agricultural lands. This particular plan has been cancelled under TVK. If you remember, under the election manifesto of the TVK, this was one of the main promises that Vijay made, and after becoming the chief minister in the second session and the financial budget and agricultural budget for this year, Vijay has now announced that the Parandur airport plan has been scrapped. Following this, the DMK and the AIDMK was not allowed to debate on this topic, as it was a special resolution moved by the chief minister himself. So DMK has staged a walked out now, whereas the DMK is pointing out, stating that the under 55, they had already asked for a conversation, a debate to be made in the state assembly over the Parandur airport, whereas now with the special resolution passed by the chief minister and not respecting the special attention motion that the DMK had moved earlier to discuss about the Parandur airport, and as there's no debate constructed in this, whereas the former finance minister Thangam Tenaris and the DMK MLA is now pointing out, telling that the industrial development has increased during the DMK period, and that's when they wanted the Parandur airport to be built a little far away from the Chennai airport to make sure that the transportation is easier for people who are coming from other districts as well, and not everybody had to come into the Chennai city to take the flight from the airport. And the development and extension of a Terminal 3 and the Terminal 5 in an existing airport is nothing but a burden for the people for transportation through air, and also pointing out that the airfares will be increasing with the same airport location, and that a differentiation is required, is what the DMK is claiming now.
Right. In fact, Sharda, do continue to stay with us, as it is a DMK project. So now we're getting reactions from the party as well, as the DMK staged a walkout from the assembly after they were declined to speak about the Parandur project. So these are the reactions that we're getting in, political reactions coming in from a DMK, essentially on how they staged a walkout from the assembly after they were declined to speak about Parandur airport plan scrap issue. Now the DMK, in fact, stated that the walkout was for not letting them speak on the Parandur airport. So the controversy over this now escalating, as the DMK chose to stage a walkout over them not being allowed to have a say inside the assembly on this plan getting entirely scrapped by the TVK government. My colleague, in fact, Sharda, continues to stay with me on this. Sharda, now we are looking at this controversy escalating with the DMK staging a walkout from the assembly, as they say that they were not allowed to speak on the entire scrapping of this Parandur airport plan.
Well, the DMK staged a walkout, saying that under 55, they had asked for a special attention motion to discuss about the Parandur airport plan in this particular assembly session. But now with the special resolution passed under 110 by the chief minister, as they were not allowed to debate, as they were not allowed to talk about the Parandur airport, the DMK staged a walkout and complaining, stating that the discussion which was earlier asked was not allowed by the speaker, and neither did the chief minister inform them on the special resolution that is going to be made today, and stated that it was a decision solely made by the TVK, which is the current ruling government. And the DMK has stated that not allowing them to debate on this topic brings in a lot of question about the former plans that the DMK had bring, especially on the industrial developments that includes the particular airport development, pointing out that this Parandur airport plan, when came under the DMK, was approved by the central government in the past, and following that is when the initial bidding also started for the same project, and now TVK declining it, saying that the DMK did not think about about the environmental concerns, pointing out to that multiple industrial areas come in and around Chennai, and the development has been made in the past, keeping in mind that no agricultural land has been damaged, whereas the Chief Minister now points out, telling that the DMK is responsible and saying that they did not take into consideration of these 12 agricultural lands. So DMK is now staged to walk out and is protesting outside the assembly, saying that they are not allowed to debate on this Parandur airport situation.
Right. In fact, we're looking at several now big announcements coming in from Chief Minister Vijay. In fact, Sharda, do continue to stay with me. We're understanding that while speaking at the assembly, CM Vijay also announced 3 free gas cylinders are to be provided. Now, as per TVK manifesto, viewers, 6 cylinders were promised, and now of that plan under Annapurna Super 6, Vijay has now announced about 3 free cylinders for the families that earn less than 2.5 lakh per annum, including farmers. And rupees 4,000 crore has now been allotted from the government budget for this 1 year as well. So, big announcement coming in from Vijay as well on providing about 3 free cylinders, while in the manifesto it was promised about 6 cylinders. So, Shada with us on this as well. Shada, do tell us, we are looking at big announcement now being made by CM Vijay, and he's announced that free cylinders will be given, but the amount currently stands at about 3 as compared to the 6 which were promised in the manifesto.
Well, 3 important announcements were made today by the Chief Minister Vijay. Apart from the Parandur airport plan scrap, he also announced 3 free gas cylinders out of the 6 which he had promised earlier in the election manifesto. Under the Super 6 Annapurna plan that he had announced during the TVK manifesto before the elections, 3 out of the 6 will be now provided free for families that earn less than 2.5 lakhs per annum, and 4,000 crores from the financial budget of the year will be allocated for this particular measure. He also pointed to telling that there are fiscal deficit. The public still require free gas cylinders, and we'll see now whether the plan that Vijay has announced, how the free gas cylinders that has been announced, whether will it be working out, and as to how the farmers are going to avail it is also an important question, as Vijay had promised. The other promise that he had made in the election manifesto was free travel for women, including in deluxe buses and interstate buses as well. So now we have to see whether the intrastate plans that's been given. Now we have DMK MLA. So these are the 3 important plans that were announced by Vijay. Apart from Parandur Airport, there's also 3 free gas cylinders out of the 6 that he had promised during the election manifesto announcement.
All right, so the expansion of Chennai Airport along with the LPG bonanza have now been announced by CM Vijay today. Thanks so much, Shada, for joining us and getting us the details on this. And now we are shifting focus to another story that we're tracking at this moment now. Congress's Haryana unit is in turmoil, with the party now facing an internal rebellion over Dipendra Huda's remarks on 1984 anti-Sikh rights convict Sajjan Kumar. Former Haryana Speaker and ex-Congress MLA Kuldeep Sharma has now come out and written a letter to the party President Mallikarjun Kharge demanding Huda's removal from the Congress Working Committee, accusing him of making irresponsible remarks that have now angered the Sikh community and also hurt the party's interests just ahead of the Punjab elections. More in this report, take a look.
Congress faces internal rebellion as ex-Congress MLA Kuldeep Sharma seeks removal of Congress leader Dipendra Huda from the Congress Working Committee. The former Haryana Vidhan Sabha Speaker wrote to Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, urging the party leadership to remove Dipendra Huda from CWC over his remarks praising Sajjan Kumar. In his letter, Sharma said that Huda's comments have sent shock waves among the Sikh community of India and damaged Congress interests on the eve of Punjab polls. Sharma further said the Congress should completely disassociate itself from Sajjan Kumar and that such immature and irresponsible remarks have weakened the party. This action comes as the Congress party faced huge backlash following the Rohtak Congress MP Dipendra Huda calling 1984 anti-Sikh riot convict Sajjan Kumar a role model. Congress own party leader Charanjit Singh Channi distanced himself from Rahul and company over Huda's remarks.
Sajjan Kumar ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਦਾ ਕਾਤਲ ਹੈ, ਗੱਦਾਰ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨੇ ਸਾਜ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨ ਦੀ ਔਰ ਮਰਵਾਏ। ਇਹਨੂੰ 2 ਵਾਰ ਉਮਰ ਕੈਦ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ। ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਬਣਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੰਭਾਲੋ ਇਹਨੂੰ, ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਾਨਵਤਾ ਦਾ ਕਤਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਇਕੱਲੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਮਾਨਵਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਮਸ਼ਾਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਤਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਟਾਇਰ ਗਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਾਇਰ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਸਾੜਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੜ ਕੇ ਲੁੱਟਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਪੱਤ ਰੋਲੀ ਗਈ। ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ? ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਨਿੰਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਗੱਦਾਰ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ। ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ, ਇਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਲੈਣਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਪ ਹੈ।
However, MP Dipender Hooda today denied calling Sajjan Kumar a role model.
मैंने कल भी इस बात को क्लैरिफाई किया कि पिछले 2 दिन से मैं देख रहा हूँ कि कुछ लोग मेरी बात को तोड़ मरोड़ के लोगों के सामने रख रहे हैं। मेरी गुजारिश है कि सबसे पहले तो मैंने वो शब्द नहीं कहा जो अंग्रेजी का जो शब्द रोल मॉडल जो शब्द मेरे बयान के साथ जोड़ा जा रहा है मैंने वो बोला ही नहीं, जो मैंने जिसका प्रयोग भी नहीं किया। मेरी कोई भी मंशा किसी हमारे भाई को ठेस पहुंचाने की नहीं थी। सिख समाज के हमारे भाइयों को तो ठेस पहुंचाने की मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता, ना मेरी कभी कोई भावना ऐसी थी। लेकिन फिर भी सिख समाज हमारा अपना परिवार है। अगर किसी भाई को की भावनाएं इसमें ठेस हुई हैं तो मैं आपका भाई हूँ, मैं खेद प्रकट करता हूँ। मेरी मंशा मेरा मकसद किसी का दिल दुखी करना नहीं था।
Now with Congress own leaders coming out against it, the party seems to be an internal war over its own stance on Sajjan Kumar.
All right, viewers, that's a wrap on this edition of Live and Breaking on Republic TV. Don't go anywhere. Coming up on the other side, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar now reaches Moscow. Jaishankar on a crucial 2-day visit to Russia. We'll get you all the updates on that. Stay tuned.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे। बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, रंग बना रहे। बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing grip. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
Hello and welcome back, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra. And now it's time to get some breaking news from the world of business. Over to my colleague, Rishita.
Well, thank you, Ishita. Now, we have a big update coming in. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has said that the Trump administration is preparing for what he's calling the single greatest financial offensive, that has been ever marshaled against an adversary. He's calling it the economic D-Day, as he has termed it. Now, in a post on X, Bessent claimed Washington has already dismantled Iran's military capabilities, destroyed nearly all of its military factories, and buried its nuclear program, declaring the US is now entering the end game with Tehran. Now, the idea is to deploy every agency to sever every single economic lifeline of Iran. Besant is all set to hold a press conference at 2 p.m. Eastern Time today to lay out the details of what's being billed as the toughest sanctions campaign in US's history. Now, he's accused Iran of using security threats as extortion and says Washington will no longer treat its own enforcement as negotiable. Now, the new measures will add to an extensive sanctions regime already targeting Iran's banking, energy, aviation, and cryptocurrency sectors. Now, on the other hand, President Trump has warned any country offering Iran an economic lifeline could itself become a target. Tehran is firing back, threatening to halt all oil exports through the Persian Gulf if the US presses ahead with what it is calling the economic war. Now, a shocking thing is that despite the rising tension, oil prices have actually slipped today as markets are eagerly awaiting details of the sanction. Now, we'll be tracking the story very closely. We'll be keeping an eye on the press conference and see what its impact is going to be, not just on the world, but also on India's economic structure. Back to you, Ishita.
All right, so clearly the economic war and now escalating between Iran and the US, with Washington now launching its biggest economic offensive. With that, viewers, we're slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Coming up on the other side, NSAIG Doval in Beijing for a crucial visit to hold border talks with Foreign Minister Wang Yi. All the updates lined up on the other side. Stay tuned.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े।
Good morning, viewers. Coming up in a few minutes from now, it's the event Bengal has been waiting for. Republic Bangla Summit 2026 with the CM of West Bengal as the chief guest, addressing the summit live at 11:30 a.m. alongside the biggest names from the state. That is right, top ministers and Bengal's biggest actors and cultural icons, all set to be part of this landmark event. Stay tuned to Republic Bangla for the year's biggest news event, the Republic Bangla Summit. We will be getting our viewers all those updates live.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Woman found hanging at Dwarka home in Delhi. Victim's family alleges dowry torture. Clashes break out after eggs hurled at Ganesh idol procession in Mumbai. Heavy police deployed. Three newborn babies die at fire in Gulf's NICU in Maharashtra's Amravati District Women Hospital. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar reaches Moscow. Jaishankar on a crucial two-day visit to Russia. Meanwhile, NSAIG Doval is en route Beijing. Doval to hold crucial meet with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. We'll cross to Bengaluru, viewers, and you will see a lot of political tensions have escalated in Bengaluru as opposition parties, including the BJP and JDS, launching a massive joint protest against the Congress-led Karnataka government. over the alleged Valmiki Fund scam. The opposition alleges that tens of crores of rupees allocated for tribal welfare were illegally diverted to the finance election campaign. Protesters organized a march from Freedom Park towards Vidhan Saudha, demanding the immediate dismissal and resignation of the accused cabinet minister. In response, the state leadership accused the opposition of disrupting the legislative assembly sessions and engaging in political tactics. Investigators continue probing forged documents and unauthorized bank accounts linked to the diverted funds. So big updates coming in, viewers, on Republic TV, and this is BJP leaders holding a protest at Vidhan Saudha demanding Nagendra's resignation. So this is what we see, viewers. Let's look at what's happening on the ground.
Money, more than 180 crores. So this must be wapas. This must be wapas.
Okay, so we're getting these updates coming in on Republic TV, viewers, and BJP leaders holding a protest at Vidhan Saudha in Bengaluru demanding B. Nagendra's resignation. So these are the top pictures we're getting for you on Republic TV. And this is coming in the backdrop of the latest updates for our viewers. So a huge protest which is happening there, the BJP protesting against the Congress government in Karnataka over various issues, and these are live pictures which are coming in on Republic TV. So the protest is against the Congress minister. The BJP is demanding Nagendra's resignation. So once again, the BJP going ahead and protesting what exactly is happening in Karnataka. The BJP has pointed at different issues, I repeat, different issues which are plaguing the state of Karnataka. And we see the BJP is laying siege to Vidhan Saudha. That was already planned. Stepping up its protest, demanding the resignation of Minister B. Nagendra. The BJP has decided to lay siege and protest. I want to go straight across to Abhishek. Yes, over to you, Abhishek. What's happening on the ground?
Well, I'm located at Freedom Park where the BJP leaders, be it the MLAs, the leader of opposition, Salwadi Narayan Swamy, SR Vishwanath, Muniratna, Ashwath, and various other MLAs and MLCs have assembled at Freedom Park demanding the resignation of Mr. Nagendra, who's been inducted into the cabinet as the minister, who was facing the serious charges of dereliction of money or diverting of 187 crores of Valmiki Nigama to various other bank accounts. And in fact, it was CM Siddaramaiah back then who had taken the resignation of Nagendra. But at this point of time, after DK Shivkumar took as the Chief Minister of Karnataka, he was inducted. Nagendra was inducted into the cabinet once again. And the BJP leaders behind me are demanding, along with the JDS leaders, the resignation of Nagendra. This is the 8th day of the assembly session that is about to happen in the next couple of minutes. But BJP and JDS leaders have decided to make sure that they wouldn't allow the ruling party, Congress, to conduct any session until Nagendra resigns from his position as the minister, because there are various charges against him which are pending in various other departments, be it the ED, be it the IT, be it various other domains which the BJP and JDS have already alleged. On the other hand, Nagendra had very clearly mentioned that he had resigned as soon as there was an allegation against him. He stepped down from his position. He went to the jail. He faced the consequences of the judiciary, and after which he got a clean sheet. He has been inducted into the cabinet, is the point of view of Nagendra while he addressed the media a couple of days ago. On the other hand, today being Monday, the second week of the assembly session, Freedom Park is one such place where the protest is happening. On the other hand, the BJP has very tactfully planned this protest because the exit gate of Vidhan Saudha also faced the backlash of the BJP and JDS leaders, where they demanded, by blocking the road, they wanted to lay a seizure to Vidhan Saudha to demand Nagendra resign from his position, and they were taken into custody by the local police. On the other hand, this is another place where the protest is still continuing, and a couple of the buses have already been stalled in front of the Freedom Park to make sure that these leaders who have planned to march and lay seizure to Vidhan Saudha be taken into custody immediately. And there will be another protest by the BJP leaders in the next couple of hours. 100%, and they will continue until Nagendra resigns, is what various other BJP leaders have told the media as of now. So this is a continuous process, is what BJP and JDS leaders have mentioned as of now. And we will have to wait and see what unfolds in the next couple of hours. Shivangi.
BJP has been protesting, demanding the resignation of Nagendra, who has been charge-sheeted in the case of alleged embezzlement of funds meant for ST communities. And even the Janata Dal Secular is protesting as well. Abhishek, we'll go to you. And we see that they've expressed views that the protest should also continue in the assembly. So meanwhile, we see that CM DK Shivakumar has launched a counter-attack on the opposition by remarking it was disrupting the legislature proceedings as it lacked the strength to face the Congress. If you have Abhishek, I'm coming across to you. Take our viewers through this latest, which is playing out in Bengaluru.
Well, with respect to the tactics by BJP and JDS by not letting the assembly to continue in the fullest measure, DK Shivakumar, the current chief minister, along with various other ministers who are attending the assembly and the council at various other stages, have mentioned and have spoken to the media, and through various other social medias are mentioning to the people of Karnataka that BJP and JDS leaders aren't allowing the ruling party to conduct the house in a decent and a disciplined manner. There are various other issues that have been ongoing in the state of Karnataka. River Kaveri's issue has been continuously prevailing for the last couple of weeks, and there is drought-like situation in various other parts of the state. And at this point of time, when the state government had written a letter to the union government and the Prime Minister to probably relax some of the measures of the NDRF, and at this point of time when there was a severe time to have a conversation with the opposition and the ruling party with respect to what has to be done to the drought families and the farmers, BJP and JDS aren't allowing to conduct the house. So the taxpayers' money of the Karnataka is being wasted by BJP in JDS, is what the Congress have taken a step on. And this is another point which the BJP and JDS will have to reply for. But the BJP and JDS leaders have very clearly mentioned that they would allow the ruling party Congress to conduct a decent house once Nagendra resigns from his position, and they do not want a person who has a criminal background, who's already acquitted at some point of time, who's already faced the backlash of the people, who's diverted 187 crores of the Dalit fund to another couple of accounts. They do not want this particular person to be in the cabinet. As soon as the government takes the resignation of Nagendra, BJP and JDS have mentioned that they will stop their protest even within the Vidhan Sabha, probably even within the assembly and the council and outside the house as well.
That's right. Well, thank you, Abhishek, for getting us all those details. Those are some live pictures and the latest development coming in from Bengaluru, Karnataka. Okay, let's move ahead, viewers. Getting to some more updates coming in. A fish has been served at a Congress event in Ayodhya during the holy month of Sawan. And that sparked a big controversy. The UP Congress chief Ajay Rai was in Ayodhya on Sunday when he visited the Ram Janmabhoomi temple and also the Hanuman Gari. He also recited the Hanuman Chalisa there. And later at a welcome program in Tarun Bazaar organized by Congress leader, the fish was served. A video has become viral, and you can see the video on your screen. This is a video of fish being prepared, and that too at a time when there's sort of rain there. You can see that, viewers. The BJP has called it an insult to Sanatan, as Sawan is considered a sacred month for Hindus. We're getting some reactions coming in.
अजय राय आजकल लगातार अयोध्या आना जाना कर रहे हैं और आज उन्होंने अयोध्या आया और इस पावन पवित्र श्रावण मास के उपलक्ष्य में हनुमान जी का दर्शन भी किया और उसके बाद उन्होंने जो पाप करने का काम किया है, जो है भगवान भूत भावन के जो है इस पावन पवित्र अवसर पर जिस तरह से उनके स्वागत में मछली भोज का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, अपने आप में दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, निंदनीय है। वही मार्ग कांवड़ यात्रियों की मार्ग है। जिस तरह से इन्होंने सनातन संस्कृति के ऊपर, इस पावनता के ऊपर कुठाराघात करने का जो चेष्टा किया है, इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए उतना कम है।
दरअसल बीजेपी का ये बहुत पुराना फार्मूला है। जब वो बुनियादी मुद्दों पे घिरते हैं, जैसे आजकल स्वास्थ्य, शिक्षा, रोजगार और चढ़ावा चोरी पे बुरी तरह से घिरे हुए हैं। तो इसलिए नैरेटिव्स बनाने के लिए, प्रोपेगेंडा के लिए कांग्रेस पार्टी के उस आयोजन को निशाना बना रहे हैं जहां मछली भात परोसा गया। मछली भात आयोजक ने, रामनिहाल निषाद ने कहा कि ये उनका पारंपरिक भोजन है और ये हमेशा करते रहे हैं और ये उनका संवैधानिक अधिकार है कि वो क्या खाएंगे और क्या नहीं खाएंगे। बीजेपी वालों की तरह दिखाने के लिए नहीं कि बंगाल चुनाव है तो मछली भात खा लेंगे। अभी सावन में ही उनके राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष नितिन नवीन मटन और चिकन खाते हुए वायरल हुए थे, तब सनातन धर्म का अपमान नहीं था।
अब कांग्रेस का कल्चर है भोज देना। कांग्रेस कुछ मानती थोड़े है, मानती तो ऐसा नहीं करती कि सावन के महीने में चोरी से खाते ठीक चलता, लेकिन सार्वजनिक प्लेस पर, वो भी अयोध्या में हनुमानगढ़ी में मछली का भोज करा रहे हैं, तो ये तो उन्हीं को पसंद आता होगा। इसके लिए ये कांग्रेस को अब क्या कहा जाए। एक तरफ तो भगवान राम के भक्त बनते हैं, हनुमान जी का चालीसा पढ़ते हैं, दूसरी तरफ मछली भोज करते हैं। ये कल्चर है कांग्रेस का।
And we must move ahead right now. A torch rally was held by the women of Kurai Apumba Club in Manipur. They are demanding the implementation and updating of the National Register of Citizens before the upcoming census exercise. Take a look at this report for more.
Around 2,000 women staged a massive torch rally in Keshampath Junction in Manipur. The protesters demanded NRC before the census exercise in the state. The rally was organized as part of the campaign for just and fair delimitation exercise. The campaign has been underway in the state for nearly 1.5 years as the participants allege that illegal foreigners have now occupied Manipur. The protesters raised slogans including "No NRC, no IDP settlement until census." Manipur has been witnessing such massive rallies since August 3rd, with participation now growing on the ground. Protesters have now vowed to continue their agitation until they receive a response from the Manipur government.
We're getting some more updates coming in. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has now arrived in Moscow, where he was welcomed by the Indian Ambassador Vinay Kumar and Russian MFA official as well. He will now co-chair the 27th India-Russia Trade and Economic Commission with meetings with President Putin and Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov also expected. This is a very important visit. India and Russia have two Inter-Governmental Commissions, one for trade and technology and one for defense and military cooperation. These are among the highest bilateral decision-making bodies. So viewers, let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us, Chandrakala. We also know Jaishankar will meet the Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov to discuss regional and global issues. Yes, Chandrakala.
Yes, in fact, a very, very crucial meeting, one with, of course, the External Affairs Minister has arrived in Moscow and he has been received by the Indian Ambassador. Of course, a very, very crucial meeting coming at a very crucial juncture wherein New Delhi is managing with a huge trade deficit compounded with, back-to-back sanctions and tariffs coming in from the US over Russian oil purchase. The fact that the External Affairs Minister will be co-chairing the 27th Inter-Governmental Commission on Trade and Economic. Apart from that, there is another mechanism on military and technical cooperation between both the countries. Well, a very, very important meeting is expected between External Affairs Minister and Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov. The fact that this particular visit also sets the tone for the upcoming visit of Russian President Vladimir Putin to New Delhi for the BRICS summit. Of course, the fact that we know that both the countries, India and Russia, are targeting to reach reached a bilateral trade of $100 billion by 2030. This particular meeting will be focused on discussing various, aspect of bilateral trade cooperation between both the countries, given the fact that the meeting between External Affairs Minister and Sergey Lavrov will be primarily focused on the West Asia conflict and also the concerns surrounding energy supplies. Also coming at a time when India is all set to hold various international, multilateral and bilateral meetings in international level. Of course, India is all set to host the BRICS summit in the next month. So yes, very, very crucial visit by External Affairs Minister, which would strengthen further the India-Russia relationship. Over to you.
That's right. Well, hold on for a second there, Chandrakala. I'm getting some more updates coming in because at the same time, simultaneously, the Indian National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, is on its way to Beijing for the 25th round of India-China Special Representatives talks on the boundary dispute. He is to meet the Chinese Foreign Minister and counterpart Wang Yi to discuss peace along the line of actual control ahead of the upcoming BRICS summit. So this is one more development which is coming in. It comes ahead of the much anticipated visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping to India to attend the BRICS summit in New Delhi on September 12 to 13. So a very important visit, and on the agenda would be the India-China border talks. Chandrakala.
Yes, absolutely. Now, of course, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval is all set to arrive in Beijing from some times now for the special representative meeting on boundary issue. He is all set to meet his counterpart Wang Yi on special representative meeting wherein border issues will be discussed. This particular visit comes in the heels of the recent face-off between India and China in Arunachal Pradesh. We know that this particular meeting is also focused ahead, also coming just ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to New Delhi for the BRICS summit. The fact that there is no official announcement yet from both sides, but yes, very much it is expected that the Chinese president will be visiting New Delhi, and there will be some bilateral cooperation and bilateral talks to be taking place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping. The fact that in August 2025, both the leaders met on the sidelines of the SCO summit. So yes, a lot's expected as far as this border issue meeting is concerned. The fact that, we know that in October 2024, both the side has reached to an understanding on ending the border standoff, but yet there still remains some remaining border issues, and the recent face-off between both the side in Arunachal Pradesh is still continuing. So yes, this particular meeting will be focused more on the border mechanism and resolving the remaining disputes between both the countries. Over to you.
All right. Well, thank you for getting us all those details, Chandrakala. I'll be back for more. Now, we're getting more updates coming in. Let's move ahead to some of the other stories we're tracking. Next is Bharat in 1 minute. Let's get started. And top updates coming in, at least 6 people, including 2 MLAs from Karnataka, were injured after a hatchback crossed a road divider and crashed into an SUV. The 2 MLAs were traveling in the SUV when the crash occurred. All those injured sustained minor injuries and were taken to Lok Nayak Hospital, police said. The injured are said to be in stable condition. Further investigation into the incident is underway. More than 40 people were hospitalized after a chlorine gas leak occurred at the water filtration plant premises. Several people reported breathing difficulties while the officials are working to bring their situation under control. Efforts are also underway to contain the gas leak and safely evacuate those affected. Flash flood and severe waterlogging have been reported in many areas of Agartala following heavy rainfall. NDRF officials stated they have rescued 25 people so far, including a pregnant woman, and added that they are fully prepared to carry out any rescue operation. And much coming up, viewers. Woman found hanging at Dwarka home in Delhi. Victims' family alleges dowry torture. All this and much more coming right up. Stay tuned.
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath, there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
सच बेरो
कैसे करके क्या हो जाए हो गया, हम लोग को कुछ पता नहीं चला, तो हम लोग अभी क्या करें।
Welcome back, viewers. Getting some global updates. A massive fire broke out at a warehouse in Russia's St. Petersburg on Sunday, with flames engulfing the area of around 82,000 square meters. Take a look.
A massive warehouse fire erupted in St. Petersburg on Sunday, sending thick flames through the industrial facility as firefighters rushed to contain the blaze. Russia's emergency minister said the affected areas stretched across 82,000 square meters, while the warehouse itself covered 22,000 square meters. The facility was being used to store paper and polymer materials, creating a particularly difficult challenge for firefighters battling the intense flames. Emergency officials warned that the heat, flying sparks and burning fragments from the materials could allow the fire to spread further. Fire crews continued operations around the warehouse as officers coordinated the firefighting response and worked to prevent the blaze from extending to nearby areas.
And viewers, taking a short break, do not go anywhere. Ajit Doval is in Beijing. Doval to hold crucial meetings with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. A lot more coming up. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Fire erupts after ventilator explosion in hospital in Maharashtra's Amravati. 3 infants scorched to death, 6 in critical condition. Defense Ministry officer found hanging at Dwarka home in Delhi. Victim's family alleges dowry torture. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on a crucial 2-day visit to Russia. Jaishankar to hold meet with Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov. Meanwhile, NSA Ajit Doval is on its way to Beijing. Doval to hold crucial border talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Clashes break out after eggs hurled at Ganesh idol procession in Mumbai. Heavy police deployed. A very good morning. Coming in a few minutes from now, it's a event Bengal has been waiting for. Republic Bangla Summit 2026 with the CM of West Bengal as a chief guest, addressing the summit live at 11:30 a.m. alongside the biggest names from the state and top ministers and Bengal's biggest actors and cultural icons, all set to be part of this landmark event. Stay tuned to Republic Bangla for the year's biggest news event, the Republic Bangla Summit 2026. We're getting some more updates coming in, viewers. A devastating fire erupted at approximately 3:30 a.m. on Monday in the neonatal intensive care unit of the Amravati District Women's Hospital in Amravati, Maharashtra, after a ventilator suddenly exploded or sparked, now rapidly filling the ward with flames and thick smoke. The 3 newborn infants who sustained severe burns and smoke inhalation tragically lost their lives in the incident. Of the roughly 39 newborns admitted across the hospital's NICU facilities at the time, many of them are premature, low birth weight or critically ill. Hospital staff acted with swift determination. Doctors, nurses and other personnel on night duty immediately disconnected the medical equipment and evacuated the infants from the affected 3rd floor unit successfully, rescuing the majority and preventing a far greater loss of life. Now, 6 of the surviving babies were subsequently transferred to a nearby super specialty hospital for continued critical care, where authorities have launched a probe into the precise cause of the equipment failure and the hospital's fire safety measures. So these are pictures coming in post that fire which had erupted at that hospital. Unfortunately, 3 newborns have lost their life, but most of the young children have been rescued. 3 newborns have died at the fire at the government hospital in Amravati, and the latest update we're getting for our viewers is that the probe has been launched. The Maharashtra Revenue Minister has said a complete inquiry into the incident is underway and the injured are being treated. So back-to-back updates coming in on Republic TV, viewers, and this happened after a ventilator blast triggered the fire at the Maharashtra hospital. The fire erupted approximately around 3:30 a.m. after a ventilator exploded on the 3rd floor. At the time of the incident, 39 newborns were admitted to the special newborn care unit of the Amravati District Women's Hospital. 3 infants died after suffering severe burns and smoke inhalation. We're getting some reactions coming in from eyewitnesses.
3:30 बजे घटना है और हमें मालूम पड़ा 4-4:30 बजे।
तो पहले मालूम पड़ा तो आप कहाँ पे था? आपका बच्चा वहीं पर था?
हाँ, वही था बच्चा।
कितने दिन का बच्चा था? आप कहाँ पे रहने वाले हैं और आपको क्या बताया गया था?
हमको यही बताया गया था कि तुम्हारे बच्चे को वेट का प्रॉब्लम है, उसको आईसीयू में रखेंगे, और हमको 2 दिन से तो मिलन नहीं दिए बच्चे को। और रात में ऐसा हादसा हो गया, फिर हम बच्चे को ढूंढने आए तो बच्चा हमारा दिखने रहा, लापता बच्चा दिख रहा हमारे को।
जिस वार्ड में ये 9 बच्चे थे उसी वार्ड में आपका बच्चा था?
हाँ जी।
मेरा भतीजा।
आपको कब मालूम फिर हादसा हुआ?
अभी सुबह 4 बजे मैं टाकरगढ़ शंभू में था, मेरा भाई यहाँ पर था बच्चे के पास, उसका फ़ोन आया मेरे को 3:30 बजे कि भैया यहाँ आग लग गई और वो बच्चे को भी अंगार लग गई है, थोड़ी भड़क ये लगा है। तो
कृष्ण केशव पाहि मां राम राघव राम राघव राम कृष्ण केशव कृष्ण केशव पाहि मां राम राघव राम राघव रक्ष मां कृष्ण केशव कृष्ण केशव पाहि मां राम राघव राम राघव हरिहराय नमो कृष्ण जादवाय नमो যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নম হরিহরায় নম কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নম যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নম গোপাল গোবিন্দ রাম শ্রীমধুসূদন গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন